Maxine. That's a big reason why Stan Butler wanted to start him in this game, to give him a chance to redeem himself, at least in his own mind. And at the other end, Henrik Lundqvist gets the start for Sweden. Starting goaltenders, brought to you by Chevrolet. Safe, fun hockey. Referee is from Russia. A Finn and a Russian on the lines. Canada in their reds. They are the home team. Sweden in yellow, and we're set to go. And this is David Johansson. Sends the puck up around for Nicholas Cornwall, who will fire it in. And once again, Stan Butler for the 4th game in a row, starting the McKenzie-Morissette-Jaspers combination. Really likes them to start to get a bit of energy and jump right off the bat. Here's Anderson in for Sweden. Tried to drop it back. Bouwmeester shovels it up ahead, and McKenzie will dump it in. And McKenzie, just after he got rid of it, was decked by Bjorn Melin. Here's McCarthy. Feathers it up ahead for Jaspers. Now Lundqvist.
Morissette just took out his man. This line likes to do a little bit of hitting to get the game going, get everybody into it very early. Stan Butler would like to get 4 lines going right off the bat.
Eriksson along the boards was knocked down. Puck into the corner. Brandon Reed crashing in there after it, and he will start back for Canada. Reed battling his way out to center. One hands it in deeply, and Lundmark up there looking for it. Puck comes around to Barrett Jackman. Moves it up along the boards. Reed looking for it. Comes loose to Lundmark. Looking for somebody in front. Hamhuis has moved in, but the pass hit a skate. Now it's loose there in front. That was Hamhuis who charged right in. Heatley was there too. There's a shot that just skips wide. Hamhuis coming over after it. Eriksson just throws it up the middle. And Jackman with it. Sweden wants to get a change in. And they'll get a chance to do that as the puck is tapped up over the boards and out of play.
Well, Stan Butler has done an excellent job, in my estimation, at coaching this hockey club. Yes, they didn't come home with a gold medal. Hopefully they'll come home with a bronze. But what Butler has done with this hockey club is he has made sure that they've gelled. They've been very close as a team. They played a very exciting brand of hockey. And there's been no controversy, and there's been very good discipline. So in my estimation, Paul, job well done.
Well, what I hope that Stan Butler with his approach has done is send a message that if you want to come over and win this tournament, you can send a skilled team. So maybe there'll be even more skill players, so to speak, on next year's team, rather than coming over and trying to play a trapping defensive game. Go with the skilled guys, because certainly in that game against Finland, I don't think many people would argue the fact with you that Canada outskilled Finland. They just weren't able to finish off on scoring chances. They had the majority of them.
Yes, they did. In some games, the puck will go in the net for you. In some games they won't. And unfortunately, when a one-game knockout, so to speak, game as they played against Finland, the puck didn't go in for them.
Backer coming in over the blue line. Works it up around down to the side there. Veding looking for it. Works it right out in front. Ouellette makes a save. A scramble after it. Kronwall trying to get loose. And the puck still loose. Skitters towards the corner. Spezza manhandling his man. Up to Boys. And he will start back out. Long pass up ahead for Ott. And he will just feather it in. Waiting for the reinforcements. Canada was unchanged. Camilleri up there. Couldn't get to it. Here's Stahl. Camilleri moving into the mix to help out. Ott. Up along the boards. Puck played back out. Monson shooting one. And that goes right into the glove of Ouellette. He holds onto it long enough to get a whistle.
Well, Bo Lennartson, the head coach for the Swedish national team here, has been pretty pleased with his team's development. As far as he's concerned, they've only had 3 players, of course, that have come back from last year's team. They expect next year to have as many as 8 or 9 players returning, so he thinks that they are only going to get better in the years to come.
Puck rolls towards the corner. McKenzie trying to contain Sundin. McCarthy taps it up ahead. Jaspers dumping it down the ice. Johan Reinik back to pick it up. Feathers it over to Johansson. Long pass up the middle. McCarthy will rush it back in. Morissette and McKenzie both going for the front of the net. Here's McKenzie and Morissette. Neither could get to it, however. Now it comes up to Morissette. Cornwall tied up by Morissette, but Sweden able to control for the time being. Reinik will clear it out. Canada's captain, Steve McCarthy, working it back up. Jaspers tried to tiptoe in on the left side. And he'll head up the forecheck while Canada changes on the fly. We've played 3 minutes and 51 seconds of this opening period. The bronze medal game, Canada and Sweden. Jackman delivering a hit there. Throws it back up ahead. Josephson shooting it back in for Sweden. Jonas Anderson, number 23, up there after it. Hamhuis steering him out of the play for the time being. And here's Barrett Jackman, one of the great character players on this Canadian team. Gets it up ahead to Reed, who steps in. Back for Heatley. Tried to return the favor to Reed. Now Jackman had to wait for his mates to get on side. Heatley lumbering up there after it. Couldn't get to it in time.
The Swedes are doing a pretty good job of moving that puck in their own end zone fairly quickly. Canada really unable to get a good scoring opportunity thus far in the game.
Very short passes they use. Puck knocked across in front of the net. Tulsa couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Youngfist. Youngfist trying to go cross ice with it. Spezza knocked it down up to Heatley. And now it's turned over. Back the other way comes Tolson moving in. Dropped it off. Samuelsson right in. Scores! Martin Samuelsson puts Sweden up 1-0.
Danny Heatley had possession of the puck at the neutral zone and ended up turning it over. As a result, the Swedes were able to waltz right in. McCarthy kind of looked to the middle. Samuelsson walked right in. Tulsa just dropped that pass back to Samuelsson. Heatley wasn't able to recover, and the next thing you knew, Sweden was able to score with that backhand shot by Ouellette. And so this gives Sweden a little bit of confidence early in this hockey game.
Samuelsson, a draft pick of the Boston Bruins. And the puck cleared up out of play. Canada trailing 1-0 in this bronze medal game. We are back in a moment.
I hate team photo day. Yeah, no kidding.
Number 16. You guys are late. You take number 5, you take number 8, all
Since
right?
1936, Esso has supported hockey. That's why we've created a unique program where you can donate your Esso Extra points towards the purchase of new team sweaters. At Esso, we believe
Who wants this one?
there's no such thing as an unassisted goal.
Off the face-off, the puck will just roll back, and Jay Bouwmeester fires it in. In some circles, Jay Bouwmeester has come under some mild criticism for his performance in this tournament. Don't forget the fact the guy's 17 years old. He could still play in this tournament another 2 years.
And last year he got limited ice time until the latter part of the tournament. He's a good defenseman. The last couple of games he has struggled. But he's only going to get better, and he will learn through this great experience.
Puck just rolling by boys. Lundqvist playing it across. This is the first time that Canada has met Sweden. They didn't play last year in Skellefteå since the semi-final game in Winnipeg, and anyone who was there or saw it on TV won't soon forget it. It was a 6-1 win for Canada and one of the most dominant performances they have ever staged at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
I think that was the greatest number of hits I've ever seen in international hockey. Canada on the fly throughout the game.
Offside called on Canada.
Well, you take a look at Canada's lineup, and not much has changed. Today, this is the type of game where Jamie Lundmark could excel. He's been a good goal scorer through the course of this tournament. He's been Canada's leading goal scorer with 4 goals, 3 assists. Back in the blue line, the man we talked about, Jay Bouwmeester, is sure to be a very dominant force next year for Team Canada.
Trying to climb his way loose in the corner. Sandin, he's given a bump. Camilleri picks it up. Jackman up ahead for Stoll. And Josephson takes it away from him, plays it all the way back for Kronwall. Kronwall, a returning player on this team, carries it up and clears it in. Only 3 returning players on this Swedish team from last year's club. Odd up looking for it. comes Maline. Lennerstrom just clears it in. Here's Jackman. Under a bit of pressure, moves it there to Hughes. Up for Stoll, rolls by him. And on the way for Canada's Camilleri, takes a look for Ott, who's with him, snaps it on goal. And Lundqvist will hang on to that.
Let's go back and take a look at the Swedish lineup. They've had a couple of injuries on their team. Eriksson has really been their best player in my estimation. He's only 5'7", 165 pounds. He's an LA draft pick, but he's fun to watch out there. Great puck handler. Kronwall, the player that Paul was just talking about, has really been plagued with injuries. He's also had the flu in this tournament. He had a foot injury coming into this tournament. He kind of got rid of that, but then has had a number of other nagging injuries.
He had a big tournament last year. He scored 5 goals and picked up an assist as well.
And he is their best defenseman when he's healthy.
Popovich clearing it in. Puck knocked down. Zigomanis into the mix. Dished off. McKenzie with a shot, and it's tipped up over the glass and out of play. Live on TSN, this is the World Junior Hockey Championship from Moscow.
Join the celebration. In 2008, we invite all Canadians to come live the dream and expect the world.
Stan Butler will be asking, where's the juice out there? There's not much emotion at all that Canada has displayed early in this first period. They've got to find it, and pretty quickly.
We have seen this time and time again in international hockey, both at the Olympics, the World Championship, and at the World Junior. When a Canadian team no longer has an opportunity to win a gold medal, motivation is very difficult. You can show all the films and give all the talks you want, but when you get out there on the ice, it's been my experience watching, they have a hard time really turning it up.
Well, they've got a chance to turn it up right now in the power play as David Johansson ends up taking a penalty. So Canada on the power play, and it's Reed's line that's out there, and this is the line that can find a spark for this team.
Reed, Heatley, and Lundmark. Bouwmeester is back at the blue line with McCarthy. Say McCarthy's been the best player on Canada's team.
I think he's been the most consistent player throughout the course of this tournament. He's definitely had great character and leadership, Paul, and he has played through some pain.
Here's Lundmark. Trying to tiptoe his way loose there in the corner. Puck comes back out now for Bouwmeester. Tried to chop it in. The puck was rolling around on him. Reed will get a chance. Tried to work it in. Lundmark was parked there in front of the net, but couldn't get the puck in deep enough. 1:20 to go on the power play for Canada. Sweden leading 1-0. Martin Samuelsson scoring a goal at 5:07. Backer moves in and into a crowd of Canadian players. Lundmark comes hard up the boards, but it's hammered right back by Youngqvist. Oh. Here comes McCarthy rushing in. Good job by Lundmark to get on side. And Lundmark after it along the boards now to Heatley. Around back of the net, nobody home for Canada. Josefson trying to send it up around the boards. Jackman shooting right on that stop. Rebound in front. Heatley lunged at it and lost his balance. Maline along the boards. Double team. Lundmark was given a shot there from behind. And I believe that Daniel Youngqvist will draw a penalty for that hit from behind along the board. So Canada will have a 2-man advantage.
Jamie Lundmark was in the corner looking for possession of that puck. He was starting to fish it out, and then he got crunched from behind. And so that'll send Youngqvist off to the penalty box and give Canada a 2-man advantage out here.
For 36 seconds. And it's Boys, Torres, and Spezza out there for Canada. Puck comes back to Jackman. Over to McCarthy. Jackman works it up. Boys looking. Torres open just off the edge of the crease, but Boys couldn't thread the needle that time. And the puck steered down the ice 18 seconds left in the two-man advantage.
Canada's just not sharp, Paul. Mentally, they don't really have it together yet. The perfect example was the boys having lots of room out there and didn't make that good pass.
McCarthy in front for Spezza, just rolled between his legs as he was sweeping across in front of the goal. Here's Boys. Had it poke checked away. It is now a one-man advantage for the next minute and 20 for Canada. Here comes Jackman. There's the puck in. That will rattle around the glass. Rolled by Torres, back to McCarthy, bouncing around on him. The puck seems very lively out there the first half of this opening period.
I think the pucks have been lively throughout the course of the tournament on this ice surface here, Paul. And I'm not sure that they freeze the pucks here because they have really been bouncing throughout the tournament, but of course it bounces for both teams.
Here's Lundmark. 39 seconds left in Canada's power play, which has been pretty listless so far. Reed gets it in front. There's Heatley. And took a couple of jabs at it, and it's covered up by Lundqvist. Heatley has really been snake-bitten the last few games offensively. Pucks going over sticks, just out of reach.
And that was a perfect example, though, that Canada have got to get their minds into this hockey game because Heatley is a strong player. And when that puck came to him, he just didn't really show that strength at all. He could have driven that puck home, but sometimes when your motivation levels aren't where they should be, or aren't at the highest, it will affect an awful lot of things about the way you play the game. And there's such a fine line between winning and losing in this tournament that you need maximum motivation in order to perform at high skill levels.
Schultz passing it up ahead for McKenzie. Tried to come in over the line. It's tapped back to Schultz. 13 seconds left in the power play for Canada. We've played just over 11 minutes of this opening period. 1-0 Sweden leading in this bronze medal game. And the puck almost decapitating the Swedish coach as it was tipped up over the boards into the bench there.
You know, we were talking about most consistent players, and I said McCarthy might have been there, or probably was. I'm not going to take that away from McCarthy, but this would be my second choice. Derek McKenzie has come into this tournament and done a wonderful job at everything he's been asked to do. He goes out there, shift in and shift out, and gives his maximum performance. He's a good penalty killer, a good checker, and he's added to the offense as well.
And that's what he's like with the Sudbury Wolves in the Ontario Hockey League. Relentless in his puck pursuit, good on face-offs, good penalty killer, very versatile. Here's Zigomanis. Trying to make something happen, gets it out in front, puck rolls, snapped just wide of the net. That was Jarrett Stoll with the chance. Lots of traffic there in front of the Swedish goal, and we finally get a whistle. The face-off will be moved back outside the blue line.
Welcome to my Hall of Fame. Home of the quickest, most awesome player to ever hit the ice. The place where with one unexpected move, I can single-handedly bring thousands to their feet. What's your dream?
Welcome back to the Luzhniki Liner Sports Arena. I'm Paul Romanuk with Gary Green. It is Canada and Sweden bronze medal game here at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Gold medal game coming up later today. We'll have live coverage on TSN. The Czech Republic will look to defend its gold medal. They won it last year in the final game against Russia. Youngqvist. Pass up ahead, knocked down by Lundmark. Teams at even strength. Heatley moves in. Youngqvist watching him. Josephson plays it up around the board. Here comes Samuelson. Polson tried to drop it off. And Heatley on the way back for Canada. Steps in over the line. Heatley swinging wide, looking for Lundmark. Or Reed tries to pass it across. And the puck just bounces off the boards, and it is smothered there by Henrik Lundqvist.
Reed's at least feeling a little bit better today because he also was struck by a little bit of food poisoning, and so in that last and a very important game against Finland, he was not feeling his best. The guy they call Sparky is in need of sparking Canada right now to get this team going. It's also, remember, a 12 o'clock game here, and for Canadians, these players are in a situation where they're playing a 12 o'clock game probably for one of their first time in their lives, at least in the last 4 or 5 years. not a normal game time, and that's no excuse. But right now, Canada doesn't seem to have their legs.
Saw Reed there's total of 4 points in this year's tournament. Last year, he led the team with 9 points in 7 games. I would guess having a bout with food poisoning over a few days probably sapped his strength considerably and didn't help his offensive performance at all.
Dan Butler, as their coach, knows exactly how Reed was feeling. He himself was bit by that same food poisoning.
Puck up along the board. Strom steps in over the line. Forsstrom there to pick it up again. Shoots. Had a little bit of room in the short side. Will let close the door. And the puck just covered up there along the boards. Forsstrom just got tied up. Talked about Jay Bouwmeester a while back, could play in this tournament possibly 2 more times. So too could Jason Spezza. He has really impressed me with his ability to set players up.
Well, I mentioned in the Finnish game that I thought that Jason Spezza was probably the best playmaker that we have seen in this tournament. And there was so much comparison to him and Kovalchuk coming into this tournament, but I don't think there's any question whatsoever that Spezza was the best playmaker of the two. McCarthy taking a penalty, so now the Swedes will have their opportunity on the power play.
Sweden with its first power play chance of the game. Canada 0 for 2 so far. Puck passed up ahead. Streaking in is Anderson. Cuts in, shoots. Well, that stops it. Rebound in front. Reed trying to clear. Back out for Cornwall. Passing it across. Johansson. Back to Cornwall again. Tapped it up in tight. Puck battered on goal by Anderson. That was stopped. Anderson with it again now. Moline parks himself in front, but the puck comes over to Cornwall. Back out to the top of the point. Johansson up to Cornwall. Johansson finally fires a shot. Had a good look there. Right on goal, and Ouellette also had a good look at it and was able to take it in the chest. 58 seconds left in the Swedish power play. Monson after it along the boards. Trying to work it out in front. And Popovic will clear it down. Here's Morissette. And he gets squeezed along the boards. You want to talk about players who can play with a remarkably high pain threshold. I'll tell you a quick story about Barrett Jackman. He was on the under-18 Canadian team at the Four Nations a couple of years back. His ankle was badly sprained. He should not have been playing the final game, and in fact was told he shouldn't play. He went to the rink 3 hours early, stuck his ankle in a bucket of ice, kept it in there long enough until the swelling went down that he could get his foot in a skate, tied up the skate, and went out and played the game.
Well, I'll add to that, Paul. He's been playing with a dislocated shoulder for the last few games in this tournament, and to play an aggressive game as he plays, that is remarkable. And anyone that's ever had a dislocated shoulder knows how much pain that brings to you, but then go out and try to play the game of hockey as a good defensive and, well, with some offensive capabilities as well as a defenseman. That makes it extremely tough. So his pain threshold must be absolutely amazing.
Leonardson trying to come in. Stoll knocked it away from him. A little bit of room for Moline. Sneaking in, drops it off along the boards. Beating tried to fire it on goal. Teams are back at even strength. 4.5 minutes to go in this opening period. The bronze medal game, and Sweden is leading 1-0. Hedlund coming in a game that, quite honestly, so far hasn't had much jump from either team. Very low energy. Hughes moving it up. Torres in over the blue line. Zigomanis threw it back out to the slot. Nobody home for Canada.
A pretty good example right there whereby your minds have... Excuse me.
Here comes Samuelsson moving in. And while you clear your throat, we'll take a bit of a break.
Thank you, Paul.
There are differing opinions on what exactly it means to be Canadian. But the classic definition is as follows. To be Canadian, you must be clean, cold, and crisp.
Well, to finish off my story, and I apologize, folks, for clearing my throat. Yeah, it's the cold season. But if your minds aren't working, your feet aren't going to be working, nor your hands either. And right now, Canada's got to find a way to get their minds working, first of all, and then maybe everything else will click into place.
Here's Spezza moving in, gets it across, puck fired point blank by Torres. Here's a chance now, Bouwmeester. McCarthy rifled that one, and it skips up around the boards and out. Spezza with a nice feed to Torres, breaking in there just a moment ago. Youngqvist trying to come away, and the puck was gloved ahead, so play whistled down.
Spezza walked right in. He took a look. He saw that Torres was over to the side and fed him a perfect pass. That's the playmaking skills that we've talked about with Jason Spezza. And boy, I think I'd have to take off my shoes, Paul, and count the number of opportunities in this tournament that Jason Spezza has set up for Team Canada members. It's been amazing.
You know what? You do me a favor. You do your best and keep your shoes on. An estimation will be good enough. Here's McKenzie trying to get it across in front. Morissette sneaking up after it. Here's Jaspers for Morissette. Down to Jaspers. 3 minutes to go in the opening period. Jaspers gets it in front. McKenzie was there, and then he was upended for his trouble. Back the other way quickly come the Swedes. Anderson dropping it back for Nordqvist. Cuts in. Back for Anderson. Tried to shift around Hamhuis and lost the puck. And back behind the play, looks as though we have a penalty call. We'll sort that out for you in a moment.
The Esso Medals and Certificates of Achievement program rewards youngsters across Canada with most dedicated, most sportsmanlike, and most improved player medals, and reinforces team commitment with Certificates of Achievement for each member. Esso, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Offsetting penalties, Bjorn Melin in the penalty box for Sweden, and that is number 12, Dave Morissette, in the penalty box for Canada. They get offsetting roughing penalties. Lundmark looking for it, cleared away from him by Youngqvist. Nick Schultz moving up. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to play in this opening period. Popovic back after it, and that's an icing call on Team Sweden.
So as a coach, what do you do in this situation? Well, Stan Butler is watching his team go through the motions right now, folks, and it's not because they didn't have good intentions coming into this hockey game, but Stan Butler knows full well that you've got to play this game at a very high level of concentration, focus, and the adrenaline's got to be flowing. Right now, it's not. He's got to find a way to get his team going, if not late in this period, at least in the dressing room in between periods.
Here comes Sundin, trying to burrow his way in there, but couldn't beat the coverage that time. Puck comes back out. Josephson fires a shot, knocked down, and Lundmark with it. Lundmark giving a bump along the boards. Schultz after it. To Popovic. Here's Sundin. And Sundin dumped. Now Heatley up ahead to Lundmark. 49 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Lundmark moving in, gets a look, gets it right in front. Heatley coming in off the left side and wasn't able to finish. Here's Lundmark. Gets it to Heatley. Shoots right on. That stop. Rebound in front, and that is stopped too by Lundqvist. Couple of good saves, particularly the first one off of Heatley by Henrik Lundqvist.
Well, since the timing's off a little bit right now for Canada, maybe it's a pretty good time to just start blasting that puck every opportunity you get. Lundmark ended up taking a look. Heatley was right there, but timing again wasn't quite with Heatley. After that, Heatley decided just to blast that puck. It might not be a bad idea right now for every Canadian player just to shoot that puck every opportunity they get to see if they can find some spark.
Erickson storming in over the line, drops it back. Kronwall shooting. He had a bead in the top corner, and Ouellet able to bat it away at the last second. Here's Jackman. Starting back, he's got a little bit of room. Pardon me, that's McCarthy. McCarthy took the return feed from Reed, but it was just behind him. icing call on Sweden. The team's back to 5-on-5 with 40 seconds to go in this opening period.
You know, one of the problems that Canada might be having motivationally right now, too, Paul, it might be a factor of overconfidence, because they went to Sweden, played a couple of exhibition games that they easily handled this Swedish team in both of them. And in fact, in the second one, they had to play a big majority of it shorthanded. They may have felt coming into this game that it was going to be laid out in a silver platter for them. That's not going to be the case.
Puck rolls back to Nordqvist. Here's Johansson. 30 seconds to go in the period. Anderson hits the line with a head of steam, trying to climb his way through. Picks the puck up back of the goal. Jonas Anderson really battling there with Barrett Jackman. And a delayed penalty coming up. Remember, Jackman playing with a separated shoulder.
I think he's the man that's going to get a penalty here for interference. He was pinning his man up against the boards, trying not to allow him to get back into the play. And for that, he's getting a penalty.
Comes with 8 seconds to go in the period.
Canada almost needs something to get angry about right now. You see Jackman taking his man into the boards heavily, and then as he was trying to struggle to get away, but yet didn't have the puck, and Jackman continued to pin him up there. Jackman has got plenty of strength. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, and St. Louis' first draft pick in '99.
Puck fired right off the draw. Veding got a good low shot. Rebound. That's knocked away. And Jaspers clears it down the ice as time runs out. And McCarthy mixing it up a little bit with Kronwall after the whistle.
Well, Canada needs to find something to get angry about right now, and I think that Stan Butler, who has only exploded on his team once during this tournament, is probably about to do it in Team Canada's dressing room.
That's what you do if you were coaching?
Time to kick the garbage can, I think.
It is 1-0. Sweden leading this bronze medal game. The goal coming from Martin Samuelsson. Canada with chances, but not able to finish off.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
Come on. Football, eh? Reminds me of my days with United. Incredible. We won the cup back in '35, it was.
With a smarter search on your MSN.ca homepage, you'll find what you're looking for faster.
Top of all end.
Usually on the first try.
I scored a hat-trick.
So which one are you doing, Grandad?
I was away when they took this, and I was fighting in Africa. Mosquitoes, malaria.
Now through Sunday, Peoples is having a Boxing Week sale where you can get up to 50% off on a great selection of jewelry. So treat yourself with diamonds. Now through Sunday at Peoples, the diamond store. Now through Sunday, Peoples is having a Boxing Week sale where you can get up to 50% off on a great selection of jewelry. So treat yourself with diamonds. Now through Sunday at Peoples, the diamond store.
Okay, let's defuse this baby. How are we doing?
Still here.
What have we got?
Oh, man. Cranberry, raspberry, blueberry.
The detonator?
Apple slice.
Okay, good. Now, there's gonna be fruit filling somewhere. See it?
Yeah, it's right in the core.
Hey, guys, it's just called Fruit Explosion.
Tim Hortons' new Fruit Explosion and Lemon Blueberry Muffins. Mouth-watering fruit, berries, and a delicious fruit filling. Try one today with the medium coffee at Tim Hortons.
We'd love to see you smile.
At McDonald's, we know value is about more than just great prices. It's also about great food and having a great time. Hey, anything for a smile.
Now there's even more McValue with our McChicken. A delicious sandwich with lettuce and mayo, made hot, fresh, right to order. And now McChicken is just $1.49 plus tax, and that's every single day.
We love to see you smile.
McChicken, just $1.49 every day.
At the intermission, brought to you by the Pentium 3 processor. Visit us today at intel.ca.
My most memorable moment would be playing in the Canada Winter Games last year. It was, it was a lot of fun and a really good tournament. Definitely have to say it's my dad once again. I mean, like I said, he coached me when I was younger, and all the way till now, I think he's watched every game of mine and always had some excellent input for me after the game.
Back here at TSN Hockey Control, I'm Gord Miller along with Bob McKenzie. Canada trailing 1-0 after the first period, and as Paul Romanek mentioned, this is the first meeting between Canada and Sweden at the World Juniors since 1999 in Winnipeg, when Canada won the semifinal game 6-1. Those were the good old days, eh, Kyle?
A little different in the intensity level.
Kyle Calder, Kent McDonnell, and the boys running the Swedes out of the rink. But, you wonder if maybe Canada's gotten away from that game a little bit.
Well, this is a different team that they went over with, and we saw that in the amount of offense that they try to create. Some pretty plays that they're capable, haven't been finishing. And we're seeing that in the first period again. A guy like Danny Heatley, the University of Wisconsin, second overall pick to the Atlanta Thrashers. This guy is a skillful hockey player. He's a terrific goal scorer. He's got great hands. But if you've watched the last few games that Team Canada's played, you can clearly see that he's fighting the puck, that he doesn't feel comfortable out there, and that every time he takes a shot and he doesn't score, you can see the frustration on his face. He has no explanation for why he's not scoring as much as he'd like to, why he's not finishing off opportunities that otherwise he would be putting in the net. But that is symptomatic of what's wrong with this team. And when you're not a big, banging, crashing, physical team, the only way you can be judged is on how many goals you score and how much offense you create. And that's why Canada feels as frustrated as it is right now, down 1-0 to the Swedes in the first period.
Right, and we'll continue to monitor what's going on. We'll go back to Paul and Gary in Moscow for their thoughts on our live coverage of the World Junior Hockey Championship continues on TSN right after this.
This is how you exterminate a bat!
Batman, this is Karen Boyd from OnStar. I got a signal your airbag went off. Should I send for an ambulance?
Everything's fine. Send a police report in Maine.
I'll contact them right away.
You'll never learn.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
Local marketing, collaborating in real time with offshore production. Of course.
Where you get your ideas is your business. Helping you make them work is ours. eSolutions from Microsoft.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
Well, this is it, Bill. The final stone for Al Gilchrist. He's 2 down in the 10.
No.
Packer, line 3.
Eddie.
Needs to put this one right on the button. Nice body extension. Good weight. There's the hit. And there's the roll. Now that, folks, that is a great shot. He rolled the center line brilliantly.
Sometimes you look me so highly. You make me feel like a strong man. But now you're looking me over. 'Cause I'm a man and you know how to watch.
Look with moderation. Tissot Hypnotic Suggestion.
favorite hockey player is Jason Arnott from the New Jersey Devils. Well, the main reason probably is because I grew up in Oshawa watching the Oshawa Generals. I had season tickets, and he was a pretty big member of that club a couple years back. I just grew up admiring the way he played. For myself, my most memorable hockey moment would have to be winning a gold medal with the under-18 team. It was just an outstanding feeling to stand arm in arm with the boys and sing the national anthem. It's an overwhelming feeling. You're overwhelmed with pride and joy to play for Canada. The fact that so many other big names and Canadian heroes have done it in the past just makes it a tremendous thrill.
If you want to learn more about Jay Harrison and the rest of the Canadian players, log on to the official website of Canadian Hockey, canadianhockey.ca. You'll find player profiles, archives, Stan Butler's World Junior Diary. Plus, there's a spot where you can send emails to the Canadian players. Canadian Hockey received over 1,300 emails in the wake of the semifinal loss to Finland, almost all of them offering the players encouragement. They could use a little right now, and for their thoughts on that, back to Moscow with Paul and Gary.
Thanks, Gord. All right, now I want you to reenact for me and everybody else the speech that you were giving me a couple of minutes ago that should be getting delivered to the team.
No, I'm an analyst now, Paul. I'm not a coach, but I'll tell you this much, is that trainers know when a coach is about to explode, and the smart ones go rushing into the dressing room and empty the garbage can, because otherwise then they're going to be cleaning up a heck of a mess afterwards. But what Stan Butler will be addressing with his players is very simple, folks. The fact remains that they're not in this game. They haven't come to play. They might mentally told themselves that they were ready, but they didn't go out there and show it to anybody. So Stan's going to question right now the purpose of them coming over here and what they can accomplish in the next two periods. If they don't accomplish anything more than they've accomplished in the first period of play, they're going to go home a sad bunch of players because they knew that they had the opportunity for a bronze medal, and that you could be proud of.
No, hopefully for Canadian hockey fans, they'll respond and come out with a little bit more jump and energy in the second period. We'll see. Gord?
You mentioned earlier about the Canadian Olympic team in '98 in Nagano. You think those guys regret now they didn't come home with a medal?
I don't know if they regret it in your National Hockey League and that experience. I think in the grand scheme of things, yes, I think they probably do. That the fallout coming back from Nagano empty-handed was a lot worse than it otherwise would have been. And I really do believe that that was a bit of a turning point, if not in the players' minds, then certainly in the media and the fans' minds, that playing for a bronze medal and playing well in a bronze medal game is a lot better than not playing very well at all, coming home empty-handed. And Canadians maybe better get used to playing in bronze games, because right now we haven't had much success as a nation in playing in gold medal games.
All right, and it's worth noting, too, that it may not make a difference with the players, but it certainly does to a lot of fans when you say at least you came home with a medal. The second period coming up next in the bronze medal game between Canada and Sweden, but don't forget, later today we'll have the gold medal game between Finland and the defending gold medalist from the Czech Republic.
Customer information for our sales force on the road in real time. That's it.
Where you get your ideas is your business. Helping you make them work is ours. eSolutions from Microsoft.
Taste that goes down easy. Coors Light, call the Rockies.
It's as digital as documents get. Digital copiers, network printers, color imaging. Kyocera is where documents are going.
A Kyocera Document Solutions company.
engine and an Allison automatic transmission. The 300 horsepower GMC Sierra Heavy Duty is the most powerful diesel pickup ever.
It's a bit of a fixer-upper.
The all-new GMC Sierra Heavy Duty.
8 years ago, we got a homicide. Same M.O., same victim profile.
He knows the killer is out there.
You could expect another incident.
He knows it will happen again.
You don't know what you are dealing with. This guy is real, and I know it.
Chrissy!
He knows he's the only one who can stop it. Jack Nicholson.
I made a promise.
In a Sean Penn film.
I intend to keep it.
The Pledge.
Starts Friday, January 19th.
The first period summary is brought to you by Gatorade. Is it in you? Martin Samuelsson scores the only goal of the opening period in a period in which Canada outshot Sweden 11-10. Samuelsson, by the way, drafted by the Boston Bruins with a pick acquired in the Ray Bourque trade. Back to Paul and Gary.
Stan Butler hoping his team has a little more jump to start things off in the second period. We'll get that underway in a moment.
Nike Skills Development Camps encourage minor hockey players to improve their fundamental skills of the game. Program coaching manuals provide easy, progressive techniques to teach our next generation of great players. Nike, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Canada will start the second period shorthanded. Barrett Jackman in the penalty box for the next minute and 52 seconds.
And that's the toughest part, when you've got to come out and start the second period, when you know you want to have a lot of juice and you got to kind of lay back and kill a penalty, first of all. But if you kill this penalty off, it can give you some momentum, and then you can get going.
Bouwmeester clears it up around the boards. Nordqvist over looking for it. Malin looking for it, gets it down low, puck comes back out. Kronwall was perched right at the top of the slot, and the puck didn't get to him.
He got an opportunity at the end of the first period right at the top of that slot, and you don't want to allow him that chance.
Here's Malin moving up, tried to feather it across to Anderson, who was breaking through. Back the other way for Canada, quickly comes Reed, shifts his way in, Reed shooting! He's stopped point blank by Lundqvist. A spirited rush from Brandon Reed, shorthanded. And he hustles to get back into the play. And offside is called on Sweden.
The man they call Sparky, who has done an excellent job when he's been feeling well of adding speed to this hockey club. They've got good speed. They just need to show it out there right now. Reed just made that nice move to the inside and then looked to put it up in the top corner. He found himself a little bit too close in, though, on Lundqvist, and so wasn't able to get it upstairs where he wanted to. But good effort on his part.
That's the kind of jump they need, and he was spotted by his teammates when he got back to the bench. Maybe that'll pull them all up.
Well, McKenzie's out there charging around. That should help everyone else out on the bench.
Sweden with 55 seconds to go on their power play. Puck worked across. Josephson shooting. That one skipping wide. Puck cleared up around the boards and all the way down the ice with 45 seconds to go in the Swedish power play.
Good hustle by McKenzie. He took his man out of the play and then bounced right back up to get into the play.
Polsa coming in, throws it back, walking in right down Main Street is Eriksson. Puck knocked away, comes back out for Samuelsson. Turns around, pushes a wrist shot on goal, and Ouellette stops that and holds on. 25 seconds remaining in the power play for the Swedes.
And Stan Butler will change them up quickly again to get some more fresh blood out there on the ice. The Swedes had an excellent opportunity, though, walking right down the middle as Canada were trying to kill off this penalty, but it did allow an opportunity from the high slot anyway, but Ouellette is going to be able to easily handle those shots from out high.
McCarthy along the boards, being badgered there. The puck comes back out. Josephson up along the boards for Polsa. And he was upended by McCarthy. Bouwmeester with it. Throws it up around the glass. Ott chopping at it. 8 seconds to go on the power play. Canada not able to get it out that time. Now Bouwmeester slaps at it. And Ott helps to push it out. The team back at even strength. We are early in the second period of this bronze medal game, Canada and Sweden. And it is 1-0, Sweden leading. Josephson turns it up and steps in over the line. Dropped it back. Here's Veding spinning with a wrist shot. Rebound pops out. That is controlled there by Heatley, who moves it quickly back the other way for Lundmark. Stepping in over the line. Lundmark. Had Camilleri breaking up there with Heatley. Comes back out to McCarthy. Shoots that one up off the glass and all the way around and down the ice. Popovic back after it. He's got company. Camilleri will pick it up for Canada. Camilleri in over the line. Try to get it to Lundmark, but Lundmark was offside on the left wing. Let's take a look between the boards after one period. Between the boards brought to you by Molson Canadian. 0 for 2 in the power play for each team. Scoring chances 6-5 for Canada.
Well, Canada did not play well in that first period, as you could see and as we have told you, but at the same time, neither did the Swedes. The Swedes didn't come out with much more aggressiveness or motivation than did Canada. It was kind of a lifeless first period. And this tournament has had very few of those periods. And Canada have played nothing but outstanding hockey in 6 games.
But motivation, obviously, a problem. Popovic snaps it in. Kronwall turns it over. Puck jumps in front, scores! Zigomanis gets Canada on the board.
Well, we've been looking for the spark in this second period. It started right off. The guys went out to kill off the penalty, and then once even strength was available to them, they were able to get things going. Spezza put that puck out, but then Zigomanis was the one that picked it up over to the far side and then was able to use his backhand to put the puck into the empty side. That should give the bench a lot of life right now. We'll see whether McKenzie's line, no surprise that they come right back with McKenzie's line, see whether or not they can keep the momentum for Canada.
Zigomanis, a guy who has scored a lot of goals in the Ontario Hockey League with Kingston, 27 of them this year in 32 games. And more of a role player with this Canadian team, but he clicks there with his second goal of the tournament. Zigomanis was there at the side of the goal, and watch him pick this up. Not much room, but just enough.
Shoulder room, leg room, hip room, and plenty of headroom. The pleasure's back with the Chevrolet Impala.
Dan Hamhuis in the penalty box for holding. Sweden on the power play. They are 0 for 2. Puck zipped through from just inside the line by Johansson. That was knocked down by Ouellette. Along the boards, Anderson looking to get loose. Reed out there, very aggressive in the penalty kill. Puck came across, fired by Kronwall. Rebound in front, knocked away. So that great shot by Kronwall. That is what he is known for, a quick release from the point on the power play. And he'll take it again and drill one. That's stopped by Ouellette. Nordqvist after it. 1:26 to go in the power play for Sweden. Teams are tied at 1. Johansson to Kronwall. Back for Johansson. Punching it in there deep. Kronwall. One-timer. That stop. Rebound in front, and it is cleared by Jay Bouwmeester. 1 minute left in the power play for Sweden. Up into the corner. Tulsa after it. Eriksson tried to center it. Knocked away. Just gets by Kronwall and comes out. .45 seconds left in the power play for Sweden. Nicholas Kronwall steps in. Tried to tee it up there from the high slot, and it was tipped up over the glass and out of play.
Well, Ouellette came out to start the second period. fully ready to play, and he's going to be tested, as he knows, because this Swedish power play has been able to get some opportunities against him. And the earlier power player, they were from the high slot, but Ouellette faced his shooter, squared himself up, and was able to let the puck hit him.
Youngqvist up along the boards for Eriksson. Samuelsson, the goal scorer for Sweden, number 11 there, stepping up after it, knocked away. And the puck just coming out, so offside call with 23 seconds to go in the advantage.
I'm surprised that Fredrik Sundin, who's still on the bench, hasn't been out here for any one of these shifts on the power play. He is their third, well, he's their best goal scorer on the power play. In fact, all 3 of his goals in the tournament have come off of the power play, but yet he hasn't been out on the ice.
Well, for good reason, we're focusing on the Canadian team. We're broadcasting the Canadians, who presumably are most interested in Canada's team, but I would guess that the Swedish commentators, if there were any, would be talking about their team's lack of energy, and perhaps the coach singling out Sundin for not having any jump and sitting him on the bench for a while.
That was close. That came off of the high glass.
Lundqvist shooting. That's knocked down. Lundqvist again with another shot that is grabbed and held by Ouellette. Just to follow up on that, Gary, it's not like Sweden has had a lot of jump either. Both teams looking very listless.
No, they didn't have it in the first period, and for Canada's sake, hopefully they won't have it in this second. Meanwhile, Samuelsson was rolling down on the ice. I think he got a piece of that slap shot, but he's complaining to the referee, so it couldn't have been because of the shot. It must have been because of something he felt a Canadian player did to him. Martin Samuelsson is Boston's second-round draft choice. 27th overall last year in the draft.
This is Schultz with it for Spezza. Back to Schultz, teams at even strength, coming up on the 6-minute mark of this second period. Schultz passing it up ahead at the blue line. Bunch of Canadians tight roping there, trying to step in with the puck, but knocked away. Here's Jackman. Gets it up to Spezza. Nice little touch pass to Torres. Shooting. Rebound. Zigomanis right there, and he was stared down by Lundqvist. This has been Canada's best line in the game, and they almost clicked there.
Well, Torres was right to take the shot. He had a good line, and so he took that shot. He had a good line of sight. Zigomanis may have had a little bit more time than he realized, but there's nothing wrong with shooting that puck quickly when it comes out to you that fast. Zigomanis, though, I think if he had an opportunity to do it all again, he would have taken that puck and handled it a little bit longer to look where he wanted to shoot it, because he has definitely got an eye for the net.
Well, they were both good shots. Lundqvist just made a couple of great saves on Torres' blaster and then Zigomanis' rebound. And offside called on Sweden.
Good back checking by Brandon Reed, who came right back hard in order to pick up his man.
It's tough when a guy like Brandon Reed and several of the other players on this team, the veterans, who know they will never get another chance to go for a gold medal of the World Junior. But, you know, it's just as tough on the head coach. You usually get one shot. Not many repeat head coaches of this team. In fact, none in the last 11 years that I've been covering the tournament.
You've got the opportunity. You just need to seize it. But everything has to be working well for you to win in any hockey game here in this tournament.
Cleared in by Sundin. Now Lundmark to Schultz. Point being, I think Stan Butler is as bitterly disappointed as any of the players, if not more so in some ways. There are several players, Bouwmeester, Spezza, among them, who will be back and they'll get another shot next year. Reed coming up in front for Lundmark. And the puck just knocked off its mooring. In fact, the last time I can remember a coach back-to-back years, you have to go all the way back to the 80s. 15 years ago, Terry Simpson coached 2 teams in a row.
Brandon Reed has shown lots of hustle in this second period. He's been a good leader out there for Team Canada in order to get them going, and that's why he's getting a pat in the back. Dan Butler probably gave them all a kick in the butt, and now it's time to give a pat on the back.
Camilleri to Ott, and just backhanded it towards the goal. Wasn't sure whether he was trying to maybe pull it to his forehand or not. Here comes Anderson. Up along the boards. Looking for a little bit of help. He gets it in the form of Jonas Nordqvist, but they will tie it up, and a penalty coming up. We'll sort the penalty out for you when we come back. You're watching the World Junior Championship from Moscow.
Video games don't just blast through your batteries, they blast through your money. That's why you should arm yours with Rayovac. They last as long as standard Duracell and Energizer, but cost less.
How about a little one-on-one?
Rayovac lasts as long as standard Duracell and Energizer for less.
I challenge you to a little one-on-one. Try Rayovac. If you don't think they're as good as the other guys, you get your money back. You can't lose. I like that.
Jared Stoll has picked up a boarding penalty, a pretty weak boarding penalty at that. But this Russian referee has handed out a couple of penalties for hitting along the boards that he felt were boarding.
Here's Jaspers with it. All the way back from McCarthy. Just bumps it off the boards and deep down into Swedish territory. 1:38 to go in the Swedish power play. They are 0 for 3 with the man advantage, although they had managed to generate 7 shots on goal. Flying in over the line, Anderson trying to crash his way through the Canadian defense. Nordqvist with it, works it around back of the goal. Malin back to the line. Kronwall. Here's Anderson. Back to Kronwall. Works it across. Johansson shooting. That one skipped off a leg and ended up going wide of the target. Lundqvist had a notion to play it way up there, but decides to just dump it off to Kronwall. 55 seconds left in the power play for Sweden. And the puck turned over there to Morissette. He's got McKenzie up there with him. Here's Hamhuis. Over to Jackman. And he'll just clear it in. Morissette really mixing it up there offensively while shorthanded.
He and Krondal were tied up, and both of them went down just inside the blue line.
Excellent penalty kill so far from Canada. 27 seconds to go in the power play for Sweden. Along the boards for Samuelsson. Back to the line. Youngqvist takes it back at the line. Over to Josephson. That one was deflected up off the glass. 10 seconds left in the Swedish power play. Youngqvist again. Working it up towards the goal. Trying to back his way in was Tulsa, but the puck deflected up over the glass and out of play with 3 seconds remaining in the Swedish power play.
Well, definitely the penalty killers for Team Canada have come out showing lots of motivation in this second period of play. The unfortunate part of then taking penalties and starting the period off with one is that even though when you kill them, that gives your team motivation, momentum, it also forces too many players to be sitting on the bench. So what Canada's got to do is try to stay out of the penalty box and be able to get back to 5 aside and roll them over.
Leonardson with a shot. That was knocked away. Teams back at even strength as we come up on the halfway point in this game. 1-1, Canada and Sweden. And here comes Torres up there with Spezza. Torres barging in, knocking in the door, but it was held shut. But a courageous move by Torres. He knew he was going to pay a price there to drive in on goal.
Well, Raffi Torres was bound and determined that he was going to put that puck in the net if he had to go in with it. And he did. He ended up being crashed into the net. He had good puck control right here, too, right until the very last second when he ended up meeting up against Lundqvist, who came down to kind of cut his angle down. Torres and Zigomanis used to shoot 400 pucks a day practically in Zigomanis' basement.
Puck knocked towards the goal. On the way out, Forsström easing in over the line, clears it up. Popovic jabbing at it. Zigomanis and Popovic along the boards. Torres, Zigomanis, and Spezza out there now for Canada. And I say again, I think it's been their best line in this game so far.
Mike Zigomanis and Raffi Torres have known each other for a long time, so getting the opportunity to play with each other right now is fun for them.
Zigomanis trying to get it back of the net there for Torres. Puck rolls away from him. McCarthy will step up into the mix. McCarthy had to untangle himself there to Spezza. Not able to feather it through that time. McCarthy at the blue line had it skip by him. And both teams will change. Lundmark, Heatley, and Reed over the boards for Canada. Long pass up ahead. There's that long bomb. Beating, shooting, right on, and that is stopped in hell by Ouellette. Long pass up ahead. That was Matthias Monsoon, not Beating.
Well, Bouwmeester, though, plays it well. Watch what he does. He just heads right to the corner to make sure that he keeps the shooter from being able to walk into the middle. So Bouwmeester allowed that shot to come, but from a bad angle, and he was very confident that Maxime Ouellette would not let a shot like that in from that angle.
Sorry about that. It was a 20 and not a 28 as I originally thought. Monson after the puck. Comes out of traffic. Works it all the way back. Johansson with a shot. Knocked down in front. Little scrambly there right in front of Ouellette, but Canada prevailing and Lundmark starting back. Gets it up ahead to Reed. Lundmark was following up, but broken up. Monson in over the line. And Jackman picking his pocket. Sends it up around the boards. Here's Heatley.
This big line out there, Reed has been going in the second period, but Lundmark and Heatley have both got to pick the pace up. They're both veteran players, but they need that leadership from them.
Heatley had a couple chances in the first period, but just to re-emphasize, he has really had a tough time finishing the last couple of games. Moline moving in. And a penalty coming up. And it's an interference call. And I believe it is going to go against Barrett Jackman. So the call's not going Canada's way here in this second period.
Well, if you have to end up being back on your heels, killing off the penalty a fair amount, then it's going to get you into trouble. Take a look at Jackman right here, and then watch. I don't know. Now that I see that replay, folks, I don't think that Barrett Jackman deserved that penalty, and he is shaking his head as he's sitting in the penalty box. It might be for leaning instead of interference.
McCarthy after it. Sweden 0 for 4 on the power play. This is their 5th. Canada has had 2 power plays.
And, you know, to be honest, folks, I don't think that we have mentioned much about a referee through the course of this whole
puck turned over. McKenzie in front. Fired by Morissette, and that was tipped up. And Morissette banging his stick on the ice in frustration. McKenzie had managed to turn the puck over and get it out to him.
McKenzie did a good job right here. Look, he just stripped the puck right off of the Swedish defenseman and then fed it right out into the slot.
McKenzie has done that a couple of times in the tournament. He is an excellent penalty killer. Puck cleared in by Johansson. Moline after it. Johansson. 1:20 to go on the power play for Sweden. Kronwall shooting right on. Boy, he gets rid of that puck fast. He has tested Ouellette a couple of times from the blue line on the power play.
Well, the Detroit Red Wings draft pick can shoot that puck, but as we mentioned before, as their best defenseman, he has suffered greatly in this tournament from injuries and the flu, and has not played well as a result of it. Well, not as well as they expected him to play.
29th overall pick, plays for Djurgården in the Swedish league. That's one of the main teams in Stockholm. Jaspers gets it up along the boards. Josephson tapping it up ahead. Moline trying to get loose. He was pulled down, and Sweden will go on a 2-man advantage, a hooking call, and the 2-man advantage will last for 1 minute. Yeah, that's exactly how a lot of people feel.
Well, Canada's got to adjust, though. I mean, I started to say a little earlier that I think this is the first game that we've ever even mentioned anything about the refereeing. But Canada has got to adjust to the style that the Russian referee is now calling, and that is virtually, you know, any type of tap on the elbow will be that considered to be a hook, or any type of body check along the boards is going to be considered boarding. You might better understand that that's the way that he's going to call it, so get back to a skating game and a shooting game.
Here's Kronwall, and the puck coming outside the blue line. Well, you would like to think that after all these years, Canadians, North Americans have advanced past the point of coming over and complaining about the different style of officiating they have in Europe, because it's long established and it's not going to change. The game is just called differently.
You know, I thought the refereeing throughout the course of this tournament has been pretty consistent so far, Paul.
Anderson flying in over the line. He was up there with Moline, and perhaps one move too many by Anderson. And McKenzie will chop it down the ice for Canada. 25 seconds left in the two-man advantage for Sweden. And they move it quickly. Up to Eriksson. Working in. Dropped it back. Kronwall came up, and the puck trickling outside the blue line. Canada's penalty killing has been good so far in this game. It's had to be. Tulsa tiptoeing around. Knocked away. Here's Eriksson. Gets it back out. Youngqvist passing it across. Puck snapped in wide of the goal by Johansson. Here's Eriksson in the corner. One player back onto the ice. It's now a 5-on-4 for Sweden. Tulsa gets it back. Youngqvist moves it up. Johansson tried to center it across. Ott working hard, dug it loose and gets it out. Here's Eriksson. 39 seconds left in the one-man advantage for Sweden. Burrowing in there is Samuelsson. Couldn't get it out in front. He'll get some help now. Tulsa back to the line for Youngqvist. Up for Tulsa. Back for Moline. Pardon me, that's Eriksson. Eriksson still. Out for Josefsson. And Jackman will pick up that puck and carry it back for Canada shorthanded. Jackman dips the shoulder and carries it in deep. 4 seconds remaining in the Swedish power play. And out of necessity, Canada's penalty killing has had to be good in this game. They are 6 for 6 on the penalty kill.
Well, their penalty killing so far in this hockey game have given them an equal opportunity to win it. Now they've got to get back to 5-on-5 hockey and start showing the same type of determination.
Backer along the boards, gets it up for Veding. Backer and Veding working in tandem there in the corner. Jaspers and Popovic in there for Canada digging away. And the referee calling for them to move it. And Popovic will do just that. Up to Bouwmeester. Gets it ahead. Morissette sneaking in. Back for Reed. Shoots. Right across in front. Popovic had jumped up into the play. And then the puck fired by Heatley. And that is stopped and held by Lundqvist. Live from Moscow, this is the World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN.
Bonjour. What do a stolen diamond, 86 carats, a four-fingered gambler, whoops, a thug named Bullet Tooth.
Should I call you Bullet, Tooth? You can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
And this guy.
Who are you? Where's your back to there? Concentrate.
What? Have in common?
I would have thought that was obvious.
You won't know until you sneak a peek at Snatch.
Toys.
Did you understand a single word of what he just said? Opens everywhere January 19th.
Welcome back. Paul Romanuk along with Gary Green at the Luzhniki Minor Sports Arena. Be sure to follow along Stan Butler's daily diary on the Canadian Hockey website, canadianhockey.ca. One more installment of the diary to go, I guess. Although he may have some time in the plane to jot down a few thoughts.
This is the line right now for Canada, their #1 line that has got to get things going here on 5 aside. Heatley and Lundmark's legs might be a little stiff. They haven't had a lot of ice time in his second period.
The penalty killing has been good, though. To re-emphasize that point, if you're looking for a positive as a Canadian fan. Schultz jabbing at it. Heatley as well. And I suppose if you're a Swedish fan, the other side of that is you're wondering what happened to their power play. Kronwall firing a shot. That was a great chance. He has had several of them in this game, but not able to finish off. Heatley on the way back for Canada with numbers at the blue line. Drops it. Lundmark fired a shot and pinged it off the glass. Another great chance. And Lundmark missing there. Camilleri tapping it up. Lundmark trying to find his way loose. Lundmark battling still against two Swedish players and ended up giving up the puck, and it's cleared down the ice. An icing call on Sweden. Frustration for Jamie Lundmark.
Well, they set out to get a goal on this shift. Lundmark, right from down the middle, ended up missing the net. But that puck, just before he shot it, folks, watch it start to roll. That puck started rolling on him, and as a result, that's why he missed the net. The puck has been bouncing, and sometimes in the third period in this arena, it has looked as though it was a basketball instead of a frozen hockey puck. And I think that's why Lundmark was a little frustrated, because he knew that he had a dynamic opportunity to put Canada ahead by one. He couldn't have been in a better scoring position. And once that puck starts to roll on you, you really don't have control of where it's going.
To be quite honest, I think that's what happened on the fourth goal for Finland in their game against Canada, with the one where the puck was fired from just inside the blue line. There were some who thought that it had hit the skate of defenseman Dan Hamhuis, but watching the replay, it looked as though the puck flipped up just before it was shot, and that put a bit of a knuckleball flutter, if you will, on it, and that's why it dropped so steeply when it moved into Ouellet.
It dropped significantly on Maxime Ouellet. We had a chance after the game to go back and watch it a number of times. So, in all fairness to Ouellet, that puck had dropped about a foot before it got to it.
Teams at even strength. 2.5 minutes to go in this second period. And Canada and Sweden tied at 1. McCarthy in over the blue line. He had Torres there. Torres cuts in Zigomanis out there for Canada. Trying to get up to it is Eriksson. He was hooked in the play. Eriksson, nice little move. Couple of players in front. Gets it out there for Tulsa. Back to the line. Puck slapped in by Lennartson. Lennartson pitching up after it. Knocked away. Spezza gets it out to Torres. He couldn't quite wheel it in. Tulsa firing it in. And an icing call on Sweden. Live on TSN, you're watching the World Junior Hockey Championship bronze medal game.
There are differing opinions on what exactly it means to be Canadian. But the classic definition is as follows. To be Canadian, you must be clean, cold, and crisp.
Just under 2 minutes to play. Boys fires it through right on, and that is covered up by Lundqvist. Lundqvist has looked solid in this game. New York Rangers draft pick. Plays for Frölunda in the Swedish League.
New York Rangers 7th round draft pick in 2000. He's an aggressive goaltender. And 5-on-5, Paul, he's only given up 3 goals in this tournament.
Here's Samuelson. Johansson. Boys after it, trying to get it out in front. McKenzie was looking for it. He was hooked up in the play. Back the other way. Samuelson moves it in. That will roll to Ouellet, and he hangs on. Gold medal game coming up later today on TSN. It will be Finland against the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic defending World Junior champions. They defeated Russia last year in a game that was as inspiring as watching paint dry. Hopefully this year's will be better.
No, it won't be the same type of game, Paul, I'll guarantee you, because that's not how Finland play. It is how the Czech Republic play, unless they get down by a goal or two. But at the same time, you can't criticize the Czechs, because as long as you continue to win at that style of play, then he's got everybody buying into the system.
Oh, I know, and I apologize for my editorial bias coming.
No, I agree with you, though, because it is terrible hockey to watch. And it's terrible hockey, really, for the players to have to play. On the other hand, if they go home with a gold medal, they'll be pretty happy. They did last year. And that's exactly how they played, and they bought into the system, really, the Czechs, because they've seen their senior teams play that as well.
It was so bad that they dumped it in during the shootout.
You take Dale Talon's line.
It's a great line.
Dale Talon.
I thought it was Gord Miller's
the assistant GM for the Chicago Blackhawks last year, ended up saying that, and Stan Butler and others would probably agree. Anybody that saw that game.
Heatley after it. Here's Meeting. Now Schultz. Reed streaking through, shoots, had a bead in the top shelf, and I believe Lundqvist may have gotten a piece of it.
He didn't have a great angle, but he sure knew where he wanted to put it anyway.
He has had a lot of jump in this game, has Brandon Reed, playing his final game for Canada's national junior team. In over the line, Backer swings wide with a wrist shot, push that one wide of the goal. 10 seconds left in the period. Backer up after it with Horstrom, and they cover it up along the boards. 4 seconds to go in period number 2.
A much better effort on Canada's part in the second period of play. Ouellette was sharp in the net, but the penalty killers are the ones that should be praised after this second period. They were the ones that kept Canada in this hockey game. Tremendous effort on their part, led by this man right here, Brandon Reed. His dad told me before this tournament started, he said, whatever you do, don't get into a card game with my son because he's a shark. Mr. Reed, I have avoided that.
Puck comes back, Kronwall, one more shot. That one was tipped and just bounced away, and Ouellette, his reaction saying aloud, he just sort of shook his head. He knew how close that was.
Ouellette dropped a good foot.
Yeah, and he has been fighting the puck, and I think Maxime would be the first guy to admit that the last 5 periods that he's played.
But Canada did what they needed to do. They tied this hockey game up, got some momentum, and they need in the third period to roll those lines over, stay out of the penalty box, and Stan Butler will no doubt be addressing that. He pats them on the back at least after the second period of play.
Second intermission coming up. Canada and Sweden are all tied in this bronze medal game. Brandon Reed, one of the few Canadian forwards who has had a lot of jump out there, generating a couple of good chances. But again, the story for Canada, not enough offense, not enough plays like this one from Zigomanis.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
I hate team photo day. Yeah, no kidding.
You guys are late. You take number 5, you take number 8, all
Since
right?
1936, Esso has supported hockey. That's why we've created a unique program where you can donate your Esso Extra points towards the purchase of new team sweaters. At Esso, we believe
Who wants this one?
there's no such thing as an unassisted goal.
Gatorade wants you to be a player. Go online and play Gatorade Game Day Hockey. Log on at GatoradeCanada.com. Pick your weekly games and your favorite players. Then sit back and cheer on your team. All entries are entered for a chance to win a Star Choice elliptical satellite dish and a receiver with 3 months platinum programming and free installation. Or weekly Gatorade prize packages. Be a player and get into the game with Gatorade Game Day Hockey. Brought to you by Gatorade, the official sports drink of the NHLPA.
Hi, I'm Rod Smith.
And I'm James Duffy. Join us for Canada's most comprehensive sports news and information show.
Sports Desk, weeknights here on TSN.
At the intermission, brought to you by the Pentium 3 processor. Visit us today at intel.ca.
Favorite hockey player is Curtis Joseph of Toronto. I think he's obviously a great goaltender. I like the way he does a great second and third effort. He doesn't really have a style, but he gets the job done, and that's really important as a goaltender. Probably being drafted to the NHL is obviously pretty high up there, but winning a gold medal with under-17 Team Ontario back in '97 was pretty big as well. First coach was my dad back in Thunder Bay. Just when I was 7 years old, I started playing, and he was the coach. That was probably the main reason I started playing, actually. He asked if I wanted to get into it, and I thought I'd enjoy it.
Had to feel for Alex Auld in the game against Switzerland. They put him in the third period just to give him some playing time, and the Canadians didn't give him much help in that 8-4 victory by Team Canada. Well, a little better in that second period. The Canadians come back with a goal. This is very reminiscent of last year's game against the United States in the bronze medal. We talked about it off the top of the show. The Canadians look disinterested at the start. It's hard to get Canadian players up to play in a third-place game, but in the game against the U.S. last year, and maybe in this game now, you get a sense with a chance to win it, they'll get back in it.
Well, they certainly seem to be picking up the intensity level in that period. As you said, Gord, a year ago, they didn't have much jump off the bat, but they started to pick it up as the game went along. Interesting comment from Anders Hedberg, the former Toronto Maple Leaf executive, working now with the Edmonton Oilers, and part of the hierarchy of the Swedish Ice Hockey Federation for their teams. And he said, if Canada can't get up for a bronze medal game, well, shame on them, because there's no shame in winning a bronze medal. Well, maybe there is in Canada, but having said that, you have to get up for it. In that second period, there was a lot more intensity. I will say this, every time Jason Spezza is on the ice, he creates something, some good scoring opportunities. Mike Zigomanis gets the goal in the second period, stepping in for Brad Boyes on that line with Jason Spezza. So Stan Butler tinkering with his lines a little bit. Boyes didn't see a lot of ice time in the second period, although he did take more a set spot on the so-called checking line late in the period. But Stan Butler trying to get something going, and when Jason Spezza is on the ice, quite often there's a good scoring chance for Canada. Jason
Spezza and Jay Bouwmeester could make a career of playing in the World Junior Hockey Championship. They've already played in 2, and they've not yet been drafted. And of course, Bouwmeester doesn't go until the 2002 National Hockey League draft. 1-1 is the score as Canada gets jiggy with Ziggy. Zigomanis equalizes. For the latest on Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship, plus the history of the tournament, even Stan Butler's daily diary, go to CanadianHockey.ca, the official website of the Canadian Hockey Association. It's also the place where you can send a message to the Canadian players. So one period yet to play. Canada and Sweden are even in 1. Back now to Moscow for Paul and Gary's thoughts.
Nice and simple for you this time. No reenactment of the between the periods dressing room speech. Just tell us what has to happen in the third period for Canada.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious, folks. I mean, this team has shown the capabilities of coming out and playing a good, hard skating, skillful game. That's what they've got to do in this third period. Stay out of the penalty box. They don't need to run anybody through the boards. They don't need to hook anybody. They just need to use their skating ability and their scoring ability to light it up here in the third period. You don't want to be taking a long plane trip back home tomorrow thinking should have, could have, would have, but didn't, with a big lump in your throat. Instead, you can have a bronze medal hanging around your neck and be very proud.
Yeah, and I look particularly for guys in the third period who know they're getting their final chance in a Canadian World Junior uniform. Guys like Steve McCarthy, the captain, Barrett Jackman, Brandon Reed. I think they'll really turn it up. Gord?
All right, thanks very much. And Maxime Ouellette might fall in that category, too.
Absolutely. Maxime Ouellette, as painful as it is for people to admit, was outgoaled by Ari Ahonen in the semifinal game that cost Canada a shot at the gold medal. Is it Ouellette's fault that they're not in the gold medal game? No, certainly not entirely, but he hasn't been at his usual stellar level, and he needs to be in this third period if Canada's going to win a bronze medal.
All right, so we'll take you back to Moscow for the third period where our live coverage of the World Junior continues. And don't forget, still ahead tonight, or today rather, we will have the gold medal game between Finland and the Czech Republic. It comes your way at 7:50 a.m. Eastern Time, 4:50 a.m. Pacific Time. Good morning, Canada. Back to Moscow right after this.
I hate team photo day. Yeah, no kidding.
Number 16. You guys are late. You take number 5, you take number 8, all
Since
right?
1936, SO has supported hockey. That's why we've created a unique program where you can donate your SO Extra Points towards the purchase of new team sweaters. At SO, we believe
Who wants this one?
there's no such thing as an unassisted goal.
Boing. Boing.
Ba.
Boing. Boing.
Ba.
Boing.
Boing.
B.
Boing.
Boing. All right, let's do it again. Ba.
Boing.
Boing. Ba.
Boing.
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 You bet.
Having to pass trucks on the highway is not an option. So why would a V6 engine be one? Malibu from Chevrolet. Powerful V6 engine standard. Think about it. Malibu did. People have stuff. It's not an option. So we built a car with an enormous trunk and extra interior space. Malibu from Chevrolet. Designed for people and their stuff. Think about it. Malibu did.
Make every day good to the last drop.
Friday, TSN delivers a world-class schedule. The Habs face off with the revitalized Penguins for viewers in the Montreal Canadiens local area, while live match play golf from Australia takes center stage on the national lineup. It's all here on TSN.
The second period summary is brought to you by Cheerios, one of Canada's favorite cereals for over 40 years. Mike Zigomanis gets his second of the tournament at 3:03. Sweden outshoots Canada 16-10 in that second period. And now for the third, back to Moscow with Paul and Gary.
Canada heading out onto the ice, all tied up at 1 with Sweden in this bronze medal game.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Captain of the Canadian team, Steve McCarthy, and one of a number of players on this team playing in their final game for Canada at a World Junior Hockey Championship. And what a gutsy effort he has put on throughout this tournament.
And there's nothing to save it for right now. All Canada need is a really good, hard 20-minute skate, passing that puck sharply and shooting every opportunity they get. It's a very long plane trip home tomorrow. The players will leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. And they will have the opportunity to think about this tournament for an awful long time tomorrow, and best they think about it with a bronze medal hanging proudly around their necks.
There are 13 players on this team, including both goaltenders, who will not have an opportunity to represent Canada again in this tournament. Puck cleared in by McCarthy.
Right off the faceoff, Moline gave Morissette an elbow right in the head just to maybe spark him into retaliating to give the Swedes a power play opportunity. But Morissette didn't take the bait. Canada have to stay out of the penalty box. The Swedes have had 6 power plays in this game and 9 shots on net.
They've had 5 power plays in a row. Puck chopped out by Jaspers. McKenzie up after it. Morissette was lurking there, looking for that puck just outside the blue line. It was turned over. Back the other way comes Moline. Passes it in front. Puck fired point blank by Jonas Anderson. And Ouellette was there with a big stop.
Jay Bouwmeester tried to stand up on the play and then ended up losing his stick. Right here, watch. Bouwmeester loses his stick and so then is behind the play, creating the 2-on-1 opportunity. But Maxime Ouellette came right over from his left to his right, cut down the angle, and was able to let the puck hit him and then cover up on his own rebound.
Puck along the boards. Moline trying to get it loose. Eriksson up there as well. Heatley for Canada. Taps it ahead. Jackman along the wall. Gets it in over the blue line. Samuelson throws it across. Youngqvist lost possession just for a moment, but got some help. Josefsson with it now. And Hughes. Puck cleared up ahead. Pass just a little bit too far for Heatley to get to, but he's got it now. Heatley got it out in front. Reed couldn't get his stick on it. Lundmark plays it up. Heatley to Reed. Reed battling, trying to get loose. And now Samuelson with it, and he'll start back. Up across center for Sweden. Leonardson. Up around back of the goal. Forsstrom looking for it. Spezza will come away for Canada. Threw it dangerously up the middle. Heating working it across. Puck fired there. It was blocked by Popovich. One of the few bad passes that Jason Spezza has made in this tournament. Torres trying to get it in front. The puck bouncing onto the mesh, and we get a whistle. Take a look between the boards here in this third period, brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Well, this is the big one right there, folks. You can't allow the Swedes to have any more power play time in this third period of play. Canada's penalty killers have done an outstanding job through the course of 2 periods of play, but they don't need any more work for the remainder of this game.
Spezza, Torres, and Zigomanis out there for Canada. This is the threesome that combined for Canada's only goal in this game. Zigomanis was the finisher.
You see that puck rolling again. Torres had possession of the puck. All he tried to do was make the pass way across to Schultz, and instead that puck was on its end and ended up being up around Schultz's head.
Here's Viting. Shoots. That stopped. Loose there at the side, and play whistle down.
Canada is going to change it up rather rapidly here. I think what Stan Butler will be calling for is probably 30-second shifts. And you take the big job and you make it pretty small coming into this third period. It really boils down to players just looking at 7 or 8 shifts each if they roll 4 lines over. And so get out there and work at the hardest you possibly can each and every shift. Make things happen.
Puck bouncing around there. Popovic looking for it. And play whistle down. A penalty coming up. It's going to be a cross-checking call, and it will go against Sweden by the looks of it. So Canada will go on the power play for the 3rd time in this game.
Well, Heatley and Lundmark are coming out to start this power play off, and those are 2 players that you can put lots of pressure on right now if you're Stan Butler, because they've got to perform for you. Cross-checking was the call on Monson.
And this is Heatley. Trying to pass it up ahead. It's Heatley, Lundmark, and Camilleri out there for Canada. And the puck was tapped with a high stick, so play whistle down. Camilleri had a hat trick in the first game playing on this line.
Lundmark was at center ice, and Camilleri was over on the left side. Camilleri then ended up on the right side in the second game, and he then ended up back at center ice in the game against Switzerland. So He has played all 3 forward positions.
He is a sophomore at Michigan. Was the Michigan Rookie of the Year last season.
And actually, he was checking the internet during this tournament to see how his marks were, and he ended up with a 3.0, which is about 85, 86%. Smart young player.
McCarthy shoots, and that was blocked by Nordqvist. Up comes across to Bouwmeester with a shot, loose at the side. Lundmark in the neighborhood, able to get it loose. Heatley out to McCarthy. He fired one, and play whistle down. And I believe, yes, the net is dislodged. That was the whistle.
Well, it was dislodged, but then I think it got put back on, but yet the referee already had signaled the stoppage in play. Here's where I think it got shoved off of its moorings, but not by much. Oh, it's not the net. I think it was the puck when it went back and then ended up on the back of the mesh, and for some reason the official then was a little quick on the whistle.
Cornwall with it, gets it down the ice for Sweden with 1:25 to go on the power play for Canada. Bouwmeester clearing it up ahead. And McCarthy dumps it in deep. Camilleri, Lundmark, all flooding up there. Heatley as well. McCarthy hustling in from his blue line position, taps it up to Camilleri. To Lundmark. And the puck cleared out. Sweden changing up the penalty killers. 55 seconds left in the Canadian power play.
And Canada changing up the forwards in the power play. McCarthy stays out there.
Torres up along the boards. Out there with Lundmark and Spezza. Puck comes back out for McCarthy. McCarthy down low to Spezza. Back out for McCarthy. Up to Spezza. Waiting. Shoots. That's blocker down. Spezza almost able to thread it through there, but Lundqvist got his blocker on it, and the puck cleared down the ice with 25 seconds to go in the power play.
Spezza then decided that he had a clear enough angle that he would at least shoot the puck, hoping that Torres or someone might be able to grab a rebound.
Zigomanis on the fly up there with Spezza, but getting to the puck first was Nordqvist, and he clears it down the ice. 8 seconds left in the power play for Canada, coming up in the 5-minute mark of this third period. These two teams tied at 1 in the bronze medal game. And the puck cleared out just out of the box. Monson walking in, shoots. Willett stopped him and covers up. Big chance for Matthias Monson out of the box and into the play, but Willett stared him down.
Make every day good to the last drop.
Welcome back. Teams at even strength, and a great chance for Sweden. Just coming off the shorthanded situation, Matthias Monson stepped out of the box and broke in all alone on Willett, who was up to the test. Puck knocked down by Hamhuis, moves it up. McKenzie after. And Jaspers along the board. He's out there with them. That's a new combination. And play whistle down. Another penalty coming up. Samuelsson is going to go off for interference.
Well, let's go back and take a look at that long pass. Now, right from the very end, you can see Monson come out of that penalty box and then have lots of opportunity to look where he wanted to put it on Ouellette. Now, with this clock here, players are usually accustomed to looking up, and it starts right back of the net with Ouellette, who should have been watching that clock, and so should one of the defensemen anyway, on the power play for Canada, being alerted to the last few seconds. Oftentimes you hear a goaltender smacking his stick, letting his defenseman know that the player is about to come out.
Here's Lundmark, back out for McCarthy. Canada on the power play. Puck just jumping over Heatley. Johansson gets it up around the boards. McCarthy pinching up. Gets it to Camilleri. Camilleri trying to fight his way loose. McCarthy up there to help the cause. With the puck now, back for Camilleri. Waits, lets a wrist shot go. That was tipped and wobbled wide. McCarthy in the back of the goal. Johansson picks it up. And he will clear it out. With 1:15 to go on the power play for Canada. This is Michael Camilleri. Long pass across here for Lundmark. Just crossing in over the line there with Heatley. And the puck just coming out, and offside is called on Canada.
Lundmark and Heatley are just having a tough time now. I don't know whether or not Lundmark, as you can see him leaning over. Remember in the last game against Finland, Lundmark did show on one particular shift that his elbow or his arm had been hurting him, and he seemed to have favored it a few times today. And he is favoring it right now again. He and Heatley have not had a good game here today.
Puck tap there, and trying to jump up was Bjorn Molin, but Ouellet heading off trouble at the pass.
And if Lundmark is suffering with a arm injury, then it's going to make it that much more difficult for him to get any jump. And even if he does, then if he gets into a scoring position or a passing position, if you're playing with a bad arm, then it's pretty difficult, folks, to be able to do much with that puck.
Well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the problem is, but come on, just the pictures right there tell you the guy is playing in pain.
Yeah, no question. I mean, and I've seen him do that a couple of times in today's game, but not as much as he is right now.
That was not the expression of a guy just trying to catch his breath after a tough shift. McCarthy up there throwing his way to Reed. To McCarthy, centered it in front, swing and a miss by Torres. Here's Spezza. He fired it, and Molin blocked it, and it jumps down the ice. Great chance for Torres. Perched right in front of the goal there. 15 seconds to go on the power play for Canada. They have just dried up offensively the last two games. Incredible.
Yeah, and I really thought today that they would come out and play a good offensive game, score at least 3 or 4 goals, and really show their scoring abilities, which they obviously have, but haven't shown yet this last couple of games.
Reed moving in, trying to get it back out for Spezza. That was broken up. Then over the line comes Samuelsson. Shoots! That was knocked away. Big rebound comes out. Trying to snap it on goal was Nordqvist. Nordqvist with it. Gets it out. Anderson shoots. That was blocked. Rebound! Fired up over top. Nice play by Nick Schultz to block that scoring chance and frustrate Anderson.
People are forgetful. It's not an option. So why would battery rundown protection be? Malibu from Chevrolet, engineered to protect your battery. Think about it. Malibu did. Cars need tune-ups. It's not an option. So we engineered a car that wouldn't need one for 166,000 kilometers. Malibu from Chevrolet. No scheduled tune-up for 166,000 kilometers. Think about it. Malibu did.
Face off just outside the blue line, and that is McKenzie out there to take the draw for Canada against Tulsa. Following it up around the boards. Knocked down. Eriksson blew a wheel there in the corner, and Canada taking control. Jackman, nice pass to get it up ahead, but boys couldn't wheel it in. And according to our information, Jackman playing with a separated shoulder. And playing a lot. Must have a pretty high pain threshold. Puck played in. Around back of the net. Josephson up for Sundin. Dished off to Youngqvist. Cutting in there is Eriksson. Knocked back. McKenzie after it. Coming in with boys. McKenzie shoots. And a missile went rocketing up over top of the net and skipped up over the glass into the netting. Czech Republic defending its World Junior Hockey gold medal title. They will do it later today, and you can see it live on TSN. It will be the Czech Republic against Finland.
I think the Canadian players might be a little confused right now whether or not they should try passing or shooting the puck, because every time they shoot the puck, it seems to be up on its end, as McKenzie also just found out. And when it does, as we have seen in this game, it is very difficult to get the type of shot away that you want. You end up just hammering it and hoping for the best.
Puck played down the ice. Skating back after it is Nick Schultz.
The same thing happened for the Swedes on some of their shots from the high slot that they had during their power play. That puck was right up and rolling.
Stoll trying to get up after it. He was eased out of the play, and now he's there to battle again against Leonardson. Leonardson knocks it away to Eriksson for Backer. Backer in over the line, dishing back for Kronwall. Hopped away from him. Ott was trying to seize a loose puck. He was still loose up along the boards, and the play just disintegrating there just outside of the Canadian blue line. Ott was lurking up in the neutral zone. He'd have been away. Camilleri moves it up. That's intercepted. Moline back in over the line. Fires a wrist shot. That's skipped up wide of the target. Johansson after it. Will be Bjorn Moline trying to fight his way in front and play whistle down. And looks like offsetting penalties.
Schultz is going to the penalty box as well as Johansson, so there will be lots of extra ice out there for both teams. Heatley, Bouwmeester, McCarthy, and Lundmark coming out for Canada.
Schultz has played a strong game, made a nice block on his last shift when the puck rolled out to Jonas Anderson, who had a good look at the net before Schultz jumped in front to block the shot. McCarthy leading the rush back for Canada. Feeds it up. Heatley coming in on the off wing. Cuts in front. Puck rolling around. What a chance for McCarthy. And again, just could not negotiate contact. And I don't mean again McCarthy. I just mean in general, again, Canada's players just having a tough time finishing off on great chances. Back in comes Anderson. Nordqvist. He's playing four aside. Nordqvist still with it. Anderson fires it in. That's knocked aside. Nordqvist after it. And Bouwmeester trying to get a handle on him. And McCarthy gives his man a bump and play whistle. Face-off down in the Canadian zone. And Steve McCarthy with a fine chance a moment ago.
Well, a very determined effort throughout this tournament by Steve McCarthy. Great play there by Heatley. He had a lot of courage going to the net with the puck, but you could see McCarthy trying to get that puck, first of all, to set down and just trying to bang away at it, but yet it was bouncing, then ended up in his feet. He just couldn't get any type of wood on it at all.
Here comes Reed. Cuts in over the line. Reed tried to make that move back to the inside around Josephson. And this is Samuelsson with it, back for Josephson. 48 seconds left in the four aside. Hamhuis back to pick it up. This is Jackman.
Jackman has played with tremendous poise, and considering, as we have told you many times in his game, that he's playing with so much pain. He has been handling the puck, taking the body, and doing everything that he has done throughout the course of all the games. He's been very disciplined and poised.
18 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Puck fired there on goal. Willett stops it. That was Anderson with the shot, and Canada on the way back. McCarthy quickly to the line. Steps in. He's there with Zigomanis. Puck fired across. Zigomanis was right there, and it just hopped by him.
Zigomanis just got a little bit too far ahead.
Beating with a shot that sizzles up around the boards. Teams back at even strength. Well, they were at 4-on-4, now to 5-on-5. Zigomanis up there. Puck tucked towards the front by Torres, but covered up by Lundqvist. Canada and Sweden tied up in this bronze medal game. We're back in a moment.
Are you challenging me, Mr. Wallace? It is a melancholy truth. You will hear the Kipling. Come on, Professor. Get out.
God, you're such a good kid. They always let you get so far. before they take everything away from you.
This holiday season, a kid with a gift will find the one person who can give him a chance.
Perhaps you'll find a way to amaze even me.
From the director of Good Will Hunting,
You're the man now, dog.
Finding Forrester. Now playing in select cities, starts January 12th everywhere.
Welcome back. Raffi Torres up in the face-off here for Canada. He's out there with Spezza and Zigomanis. Right back to Spezza. Chopped at it. It goes up, and it is grabbed by Lundqvist, and we get a whistle. Let's take a look at the game story brought to you by Chevrolet. Safe and fun hockey. Only 1 goal per team. And Sweden with 6 power plays, unable to take advantage. Canada's penalty killing has been solid.
Raffi Torres won that face-off cleanly, right back to Spezza, but a Swedish player was on top of Spezza very quickly. Now Spezza won it cleanly.
Back to McCarthy. Rushes up, gets it out for Bouwmeester. Trying to work it up for McCarthy. Josephson comes out. And up after the loose puck. Anderson breaking in, shoots. Knocked away. Anderson will circle back, though. It's a scenic route there around the high slot, and Spezza able to clear it out. Hedlund steps back in. Gets in there deep. Trying to out-muscle Zigomanis. Willett making another save. Spezza, long pass. He was looking for Torres. That was intercepted. Lundqvist coming back in. Takes the drop pass and goes to the net. Tulsa with a shot. Now Spezza gets it. And he just gets it around the boards and down the ice. Canada wanting to get in a change. Hedlund and over the blue line. Flipping it in on goal. Willett steers that aside. Tulsa after it. Eriksson up there too. Jackman looking for a little bit of room along the boards. Morissette. Now McKenzie. 7 minutes to play in this third period. The team's tied at 1. Puck dished off up ahead. After it is Jaspers. Back for Canada comes Samuelsson. The lone Swedish goal scorer in this game. He clears it in there deep. Eriksson up after it. Forsström as well. Forsström was looking to get it out in front. McKenzie right in his face. Johansson along the boards. Tapped out.
All of a sudden, these last few shifts, the Swedes have been controlling the play. They've made good passes, and they have been working the puck into the zone.
Morissette sneaking in. He's all by himself. Canada was in a change.
In all fairness to the Swedes in their own end, they have been making good decisions. Man-on-man defensive
Here's
coverage.
Lundmark moving in. Tried to go to the backhand. That was knocked away. Heatley. Up back of the goal. Heatley waiting. Got it out there for Lundmark, but he was being tied up.
Pretty good example of that defensive coverage right there as Lundmark was trying to get loose, but the Swedes have been very good defensively in their own end.
Puck bouncing up towards the corner. Reed after it. Delayed and now waved off. Here's Veding. Puck cleared up ahead. Backer in over the blue line. There with Anderson. Backer cuts in deep. He was knocked down by Schultz. Lundmark gets it along the boards. Backer trying to shake off Reed. Lundmark in over the line. Gets it ahead for Heatley with a wrist shot. Rebound comes out. Camilleri shoots. Couldn't get it on goal, but he still got it. Camilleri hustling after it. Canada pressing here. Lundmark gets it up ahead for Heatley. Heatley turning away there from Josephson. And the puck poked away from him.
Heatley knew what he wanted to do with it. He wanted to try to get it back to McCarthy, but he just couldn't get enough strength out of his pass in order to do that. He was being stick-checked at the time.
Zigomanis, nice little shifty move coming in there along the boards. And then the puck knocked out. Back quickly comes Tulsa. Tulsa moving in. Gets it out in front. Trying to come in was Moline, and he lost possession of it. Nice play by McCarthy.
McCarthy was able to block that shot just enough.
Tulsa with a shot. That was blocked by McCarthy. And Camilleri clears it to the line. It will jiggle out. Zigomanis clears it ahead. Torres into the corner. Tried to saucer it across in front. Jackman fires it in, grabbed and held by Lundqvist. Under 5 minutes to go.
There are differing opinions on what exactly it means to be Canadian. But the classic definition is as follows. To be Canadian, you must be clean, cold, and crisp.
Well, Paul, last year when Canada was playing for the bronze, we ended up in overtime in a shootout. Will it happen again?
That was against the United States, and that man there scored the winner in the shootout, Brandon Reed. Here's Jackman. Shoots one. That is tipped, and I believe that hit McKenzie. Here's Jaspers. Battling along the boards, gets it down for Spezza. McKenzie centers it out in front. Jaspers was there and couldn't get his stick on it. Samuelsson comes back the other way. Moving in with Tulsa. Eriksson up into the play, too. Samuelsson back out. Johansson works it across. Thrown ball. Waiting. Back for Johansson. Shoots. Lots of traffic there in front. It's Jackman who's lost his stick as the puck is cleared out. Jaspers to Spezza, looking for the trailer. McCarthy, big chance, fires it right on. Loose puck, another chance. He fired it. And Lundqvist, I believe, got a piece of it.
Well, McCarthy goes for a long skate down in his own end, in fact, because he has had the opportunities. But I'll tell you, folks, each and every time that puck has been rolling on him, just as it was right there with that initial slap shot. Now watch, it's going to come right back to him, rolling once again. So he knows all he can possibly do is just hammer it as hard as he possibly can and hope for the best. But the tendency is when that puck is fluttering the way that it's been fluttering, it's going to end up going high or wide. And very seldom is it going to go where you want it to go.
Nice look in the replay there. It was, in fact, not Lundqvist who made the second save, but Jari Tulsa, number 15, who fired out his glove, and I think he took it off the wrist, judging by the way he reacted to it. Timeout called, and it's called by Sweden.
For over 20 years, Air Canada has sponsored Canadian hockey, from World Championships to 5 regional midget events and the national final, the Air Canada Cup. Each year, Air Canada is pleased to present scholarships to the top players at these tournaments. Air Canada, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Well, Stan Butler knows well that his team has had it going here in this third period, but will they be able to find that all-important go-ahead goal? They've had the chances.
You've used that phrase a few times in the last couple of games.
Yeah, I have. I've worn it out, I think, Paul.
Jumping up after it, beating, long shot. That's steered away by Ouellet. Good speed there by Daniel Veding, the Nashville Predators draft pick, to pounce up on that puck and get a long shot.
And I want to make very plain, too, when I talk about the fluttering puck, and I almost feel like I've been wearing that out, but that just happened to the Swedish player as well. He just hammered that puck, but it was fluttering on him. Ouellet was able to make the save, and then you saw how it just went drifting over the glass.
Bouwmeester clearing it up. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in regulation time. Here's Reed to Heatley. And the puck rolls out. Heating trying to jump up there after, but play back out of harm's way to Lundmark. Dishes off. Reed stops, shoots. Fired that one wide. Heating trying to tap it out.
Watch for the Swedes here. When they called their timeout, we've got a penalty coming up, first of all, but watch for them looking for that long pass.
And the penalty is against Sweden, so a big opportunity for Canada to go on the power play with 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining.
Well, after calling a timeout to get reorganized after Canada had had too many scoring opportunities, Bo Lennartson isn't too pleased with what's happening right here to his team.
An interference call.
I thought Kronwall was, he started to go to the penalty box, but now he's coming over to the Swedish bench.
Well, Bo Leonardson a little confused.
Well, Veding is going over there now, it appears. Daniel Veding, national second-round draft choice in last summer's draft. What a chance here for Canada.
Here's Jackman clearing it in. So what a chance for Canada. They're 0 for 4 on the power play. They were 0 for 8 on the power play yesterday. Here's Torres. Torres looking through, fakes a shot. Back out, fired by Hamhuis. That sailed wide. And the rebound cleared down the ice.
Reed was getting a glove right into his face, and it almost knocked him over.
Hamhuis leading the rush. Steps across center and clears it in. Under 2 minutes to go in regulation time. Here's Lundmark. It's Lundmark, Torres, and Spezza out there. Lundmark bounces it in front. Torres trying to fight loose. Back for Jackman. Shoots. That's knocked down. And Jackman didn't get a chance to reload. It was tapped by him by Moline.
Jackman has been using his wrist shot a fair amount, and again, I think it's because of the pain that he's in, but he knew that time he had to hammer it, and he wound up and let it go.
McCarthy fires one in. That's right on. Lundqvist is going to hold on to it. 52 seconds left in Canada's power play. 1 minute and 27 seconds remaining in regulation time.
Well, Stan Butler's team knows in this game right now, in the dying minutes of the third period, that it's going to take a big effort on each line's part that comes out here. It can't be just a single one-man show. It's got to be an effort here because the Swedish team have protected their goaltender Lundqvist very well while killing the penalty.
McCarthy jumping after it.
Toughest thing is trying to get that puck through to Lundqvist.
The teams will take a 3-minute break at the end of regulation time, and then they will play a 10-minute sudden death overtime period. If the issue is still not decided, then they will go to the shootout. Camilleri up after. 28 seconds left in Canada's power play. Here's Lundmark. Heatley is out there. Everybody's up. Puck rolls back for McCarthy. Looking for Heatley. And slapped out by Anderson, and Hamhuis will hustle back after it. 10 seconds left in the power play. Long pass by Hamhuis. Camilleri picks it up. Trying to get loose along the right side. Teams back at even strength. 30 seconds to go in regulation time. Puck cleared up ahead. Trying to cut loose is Veding. Hamhuis up for Lundmark. He will feather it up. And that is an icing call on Canada. With 19 seconds to go.
Now what you want to do in the dying seconds is end up not getting that puck over the red line before you put it down. On the other hand, Stan Butler's team should be very confident with their abilities at winning faceoffs. They've been able to do it well today, and they have been extremely efficient throughout the course of this whole tournament. Strong on the draw.
Some confusion on the Swedes' part in terms of positioning for this face-off. Some directions being yelled in from the bench. Off the draw, the puck rolls to Hamhuis. Zigomanis on the way. Breaking in with him there is Jaspers. They've broken up. Hamhuis clears it back up. 5 seconds to go. And they will go to sudden death overtime to perhaps decide the issue of the bronze medal. If they don't do it in 10 minutes of sudden death, then they'll go to a shootout.
Well, if it means anything, Canada's at least going into this overtime with momentum. They had good scoring opportunities in the third period. The bad news on Canada's part is that that's now 2 games where they haven't really been able to find a way to finish off on all those good scoring opportunities.
Overtime coming up. Ouellette was very solid in the final period. Both teams not able to finish, though.
every day, good to the last drop.
My hat's pink, my curling shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color is pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand screw and start? First thing, do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is?
When he's in town, he's in here every morning, early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go to Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. Extra left double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, making my hot coffee. Yes, it's good. Really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you you're going to have good ice.
Get all the extra sports news and information from John Wells and Sports Desk Extra, Sunday mornings on TSN.
For the second year in a row, Canada going to overtime against an opponent in a bid for the bronze medal. The third year in a row in which they've gone into overtime in their final game, going back to Winnipeg. Puck cleared up around the boards. Heatley sports it up in front. It comes out. This could be it. No, sir. McCarthy screamed it wide.
It would only have been fitting if McCarthy had it scored. He deserves it.
Erickson coming back. Along the boards, trying to get it back for Tulsa. Now Heatley. Out to Lundmark. Lundmark waits. Shoots. And that is grabbed and held by Lundqvist.
Well, 2 chances for Canada, and we are just underway in this overtime period. Steve McCarthy has had good chances in this game, and he took a look right here. He knew this time that he wasn't going to take a slap shot. He was going to try to get that puck down and control it. He did exactly that. He was looking for the top corner. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Went a little high.
Spezza, Torres, and Zigomanis out there for Canada. Hamhuis and Jackman back at the blue line.
If this puck comes back to Torres from Spezza, he's got to fire it quickly. He'll have no time. The Swedes will be coming out to block.
Highly unusual for them to take this long to drop the puck. That's it! Raffi Torres with the winner. And you called it, partner.
Well, Canada have been so strong on the draws that when Zigomanis went in to kind of set up the block, you knew that Spezza wasn't going to try to pull it back to his defenseman. He was going to pull it back right away to Torres. And Stan Butler, take a deep breath, pal, because you deserve it. And this team is going to go home on a long trip to Canada with that bronze medal you wanted so badly coming into this game.
It was just how you thought it would unfold, Gary. It came right back to Torres, and he buried it.
Then we'll go back and take a look at it one more time. Watch Torres right there, folks. He was set up. He just pulled that stick of his back, and he was going to pound it. And then he knew that tremendous feeling of a hockey player when the best laid plans end up successful. Jason Spezza won that draw perfectly. The set play, and Stan Butler and his coaching staff can breathe a sigh of relief and finally get a big smile.
Canada, the only team to medal in each of the last 3 years at the World Junior Hockey Championship. A silver and 2 bronze. The victors and the vanquished.
What a relief for these Canadian players, though, Paul, because they know the torture mentally that they would have gone through had they not won this hockey game.
As I pointed out, that was the longest, I think, in this entire tournament. I've seen the linesman wait to drop the puck. And when it was finally dropped, it was a bang-bang play. Spezza right back to Raffi Torres. The goal coming 37 seconds into sudden death overtime.
Now the players are all having a pretty good chuckle here as Raffi Torres goes over to accept his gift.
He's holding the gift, by the way. And Daniel Josephson, the player of the game for Sweden. Well, the medal's a little darker than the ones they came to win, gold, but they will settle for bronze. And it was a tough effort for the Canadian team because neither team had a lot of jump.
A proud bunch of Canadians that have got big smiles on their faces, and as they wrap their arms around each other, it only signifies really what a close team this has been right from the very start. They have gelled together. They've taken their losses together. Nobody was pointing fingers. They stuck up for each other, and it's a pretty proud moment for them right now.
And one, I'm sure, to echo the sentiments of their coach, Stan Butler, the longer time goes on, the more they will savor winning a medal at this tournament. It wasn't gold medal they came to try to win, but still, to go home with a bronze medal is something they'll look back on with a great deal of pride, both now and in years to come.
Well, as you pointed out, the only team that has walked away with a medal each of the last 3 years, and that is a huge accomplishment in this tournament. And as you said right from the very start, Paul, I remember your comments that you, who have done now 11 of these World Junior tournaments, that it is a very fine line between winning and losing. And I think your point was that it's oftentimes just a goalpost or a crossbar that separates a win from a loss. Canada's found that out in this tournament again.
And as great as the 5 gold medals in a row were, that was an incredible run. But keep in mind, of those 5, I can only think of 1, maybe 2, really, that were just domination on the part of the Canadian team. All the others required great goaltending, a lucky bounce here, a lucky result there in another game. It's a tough tournament to win.
In third place in World Championship, Team Canada.
That's the 3rd place plaque. And the medals will also be presented. Next year, the tournament is in Pardubice in the Czech Republic. That's about an hour outside of Prague.
And players are getting bronze medals. Now, one by one.
And the year after that, the tournament moves to Halifax. And now they will present the bronze medals. It's funny, Gary, but going back, having been at the tournament in Winnipeg, you may recall, of course, Canada lost in overtime to the Russians, and I went down afterwards to do the post-game interviews, and Tom Rennie was beside himself. The players were crying. There was a lot of emotion, a lot of disappointment, and yet they were second best in the world with a silver medal. And you contrast it with when you win a bronze medal, the mood is just totally different. And I guess it's that old sportsism that you lose a silver, you win a bronze. But those don't look like the faces of losers to me right now.
Well, that young man right there, number 9, Jason Spezza, will no doubt have an opportunity to go back at that gold once again, or maybe twice again.
Well, both Spezza and Bouwmeester could possibly play in this tournament 2 more times. Brett Boys accepting his medal. Plays for Erie in the OHL. Great performance by Mackenzie in this tournament. Michael Camilleri with a hat trick in the opening game. And the man who scored the winner, Raffi Torres. And I think as pleased as you are for all the players on this team, if you're a Canadian fan, you have to feel most pleased for guys like Torres, like Stambaugh, who won't get another chance to play. That's the neat thing about this tournament. It's not like the Olympics or a Canada Cup or anything where you can come back and play many times as long as you're up to scratch and up to making the team. You can only play in this tournament for a very finite period of time.
Well, I know different players have said over the course of the years that if you have a long National Hockey League career, you may end up with 14 or 15 chances to win a Stanley Cup. But you have so few opportunities during your years playing junior hockey or college hockey to wear a Canadian sweater and have an opportunity to win a medal at this fabulous World Junior Tournament.
Hey, Ma.
Steve McCarthy saying hello to everyone back in Canada, and he's got to be a happy man because what determination he had throughout the tournament, and none greater than today in the 3rd period.
Well, today, color the flag red, white, and bronze. You know what? It's not really all that bad. Canada, bronze medalists at the World Junior. We're back in a moment.
Still got him?
Yep.
The 2001 Cavalier Coupe has 15-inch wheels, a 5-speed Catrag transmission, and is the only car in its class with standard anti-lock brakes. You still got him? The Cavalier Coupe, with more standard features than ever and a 5-year powertrain warranty. Just $195 a month or 0.9% financing.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
Make every day good to the last drop.
The 3rd period summary is brought to you by Chevrolet. Safe and fun hockey. No scoring in the 3rd period. Canada with a slight edge in shots, but the shot that mattered comes in overtime. It's from Raffi Torres at 37 seconds of the overtime period. And the Canadians defeat Sweden 2-1. Take home the bronze medal from the World Junior Hockey Championship. A couple of notes. First of all, regarding Sweden, this is the 28th year that Sweden has participated in the World Junior Hockey Championship. Only one gold medal to show for it. The Swedes, in fact, have not won a medal at the World Junior since 1996, when the tournament was held in Boston, and Sweden lost the gold medal game to Canada that year.
The year 1993 rings, for me, the year that Sweden should have won the World Junior Championship. That was Peter Forsberg's last year with the Swedish national junior team. He was on a line with Marcus Naslund and Nicholas Sundstrom. It was a dominant team. It was by far the most talented team, the most dominant team at the World Junior that year, and Canada stole victory from them, largely because Manny Legacy stood on his head. Remember the game against Sweden, over 50 saves for Manny Legacy, and gave them gold medal goaltending. And the Swedes, if they were ever going to win it, that was the year they should have won it. And all those other years, they came so close. Tommy Tomp, the coach of the Swedish national junior team, Canada was on a roll. Sweden was the second best country for a lot of years, and they always ended up with silver.
And Peter Forsberg atoned for that somewhat with the gold medal performance at the Olympics in 1994. The epitaph for Canada in the medal round of this tournament will be the power play didn't click. Canada goes 1 for 20 with the man advantage in the 3 medal round games, 1 for 7 against the U.S., 0 for 8 against the Finns, 0 for 5 against Sweden today.
And the irony is that when this team was put together and they started playing the preparation games, the exhibition games in Sweden against Team Sweden, they had what they thought was a great power play. They thought they were going to do a terrific job. In the very first exhibition game against the Swedes, the power play was magnificent. They scored 3 goals on the power play, 3 for 6. They were absolutely terrific. And then once they got into the tournament, that power play dried up.
All right, lots more to come. We'll stay with you for the next few minutes. We'll hear from Canadian players and coaches in the wake of Canada's bronze medal performance at the 2001 World Junior Hockey Championship. We're back right after this.
Shoulder room, leg room, hip room, and plenty of headroom. The pleasure's back with the Chevrolet Impala.
Make every day good to the last drop.
My hat's pink, my curling shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color's pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand screw and start? First thing do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is.
When he's in town, he's in here every morning, early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go to Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. Extra large double-double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's Ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, drinking my hot coffee. Yes, it really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you you're going to have good ice.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
Here are are the players of the game, brought to you by Esquire, the watch company. Every second counts. Swedish defenseman Daniel Josefsson, who we didn't really notice that much, to be quite honest with you, was the Swedish player of the game. Raffi Torres, who plays for Stan Butler's team in Brampton of the OHL, scores the overtime winner for Canada in a 2-1 victory over Sweden to capture the bronze medal. Well, for Stan Butler, not the medal he wanted, but it is one nonetheless, and he's standing by live with Paul Romanuk in Moscow.
Well, I see a bronze medal hanging in front of you, but I see gold in your eyes. You look pretty happy.
Well, I was really proud of the boys today. I thought we battled back well. I don't think we got off to a good start in the first period, but Mike Zingomanis, you know, in a baseball term, came off the bench and scored a great goal for us, and we did a great job killing penalties in the second period. And I was really proud of Maxie. I told him last night that I'm a type of guy that sticks with guys, and it was his tournament, and I was going to give him a shot to win that medal, and I thought he played great in the third period. And what can I say about Raffi? It's great for Canada, and it's great for a kid that comes out of Brampton as well to score the winning goal.
First period, and we've seen this so many times before with Canadian teams and international competition. Once the gold medal is out of reach, it is very difficult. You can talk as good a game as you want, but it's very difficult when you're on the ice to motivate them, and I think we saw that in the first.
Yeah, and we talked to them at the first, and we told them, I said, you can go home with something or nothing. And it was very important, we felt, for Canadian hockey, because no other country has medaled 3 years in a row. And what it does is we're the only country now that's medaled in the last 3 years. And that may not seem a lot to the people back home, but I think to Canadian Hockey Association, that's important, that although we may not be exactly where we want to be with gold medals, at least we're always performing in the top 3 in the world in the last 3 years.
Well, what about the style of play? I mean, as a fan, it was refreshing to see a team that didn't go out and attempt to play a checking defensive style, but went at them offensively, and albeit we weren't able to finish a lot of our great chances, but still it was a lot more entertaining to watch. Is that a message you wanted to send?
Yeah, we wanted to do it our way, and we feel that there's a lot of skill, you know, in our country, and we felt that we'd go out and play a skilled game. We wouldn't trap, we wouldn't, you know, lay back. We'll just go hard at them. If we win, we win. We lose, we lose. But you know what? We're going to play the game the way people back home love it to be played. Hard hitting, intense, up and down the ice. And that's the type of game that many years ago we developed in Canada. That's the type of game we want the people here to see. And you know, maybe you know, other countries will see that you don't have to. I mean, it boggles my mind to see the skill of the Finns and the Swedes and the Czechs and the talent these players have, and then they trap all the time. I mean, why have all these great players if you're going to stand back and trap? And you know, we just went at it, and you know, we gave up a couple of breakaways, but that's why we have great Canadian goaltending.
Tell me this, I've never been in that position. Most of the people have never been in that position. You're thrown together with a group like this. Things are so intense. You've been focusing most of the last year of your hockey life towards this tournament, and as of a few moments ago, you are no longer the head coach of Canada's national junior team. It's all over. Must seem kind of strange to you.
Well, you know, I've had a good stint with Canadian hockey, and I really enjoyed it. And you know, it's a pretty proud day for me and the team that I'm now coaching, the Brampton Battalion. I mean, 2 of our kids won a bronze medal with Team Ontario down in Truro, Nova Scotia, and hopefully our 2 other guys are going to win a gold medal with the Czech team here. And we got 3 bronze. So 7 kids went away at Christmas, and we came back with 7 medals. And for a program that's only in its 3rd year of transition, that's great for Scott Abbott and everybody back in Brampton.
The head's held pretty high walking away.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting home.
Stan, thanks for your time. It's been great dealing with you. Take care.
Thanks, Paul.
Stan Butler, head coach of the Canadian team. Bronze medal winners. Gord?
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Stan Butler's a guy that you and I have known. You've known him longer than I have, but we've seen him certainly around the game for a long time. He's funny because, you know, Stan is a guy who has a very specific idea of the way the game should be played, and he won't waver from it, and I think that that's to his credit, and we saw it today.
Well, he went in with a different approach. We talked about it throughout this tournament. The fact that the Hockey Canada, or Canadian Hockey, used to use a ghost roster for this tournament, and a very specific roles for every player, that on the second line we need a big, strong winger who helps the goal-scoring right winger on that line, and they deviated from that plan. And that plan was very successful and did wonders for the program of excellence through the better part of the 90s. But Stan Butler looked at the talent that he had available to him and thought that it was necessary to go with a more offensive team. They were very, they get marks for style, if not, certainly not winning the gold medal. that they created a lot of offense, though they didn't always finish the chances that they got.
All right, and we mentioned Stan Butler going back to Brampton to coach the battalion. Who's playing for that team of all these guys who are overseas? One guy who is returning to Brampton to play is Raffi Torres, who scored the overtime winner, and here he is with Paul.
It's the kind of thing you dream about, scoring a goal to win a medal for Canada. Share the dream.
It's crazy right now. You know, even though it's the bronze, it's still, you know, the highlight of my life to this point for sure. You know, I'm never going to forget this moment, forget the guys on the team. You know, I got 21 new friends for the rest of my life, and it's just crazy right now.
Could you please just repeat that? I believe you started off by saying it was for bronze, but still, I mean, that's a great attitude, because there's so much pressure put on you guys that it's gold or nothing, and it's nice that you feel that way.
You know, unfortunately, we didn't get the bounces against Finland, and but here, you know, we worked extremely hard, and you know, I'm proud of the guys in the team, and we just kept going.
Boy, it was sure a slow start in that first period. I talked to Stan about this. It's water, by the way, fortunately. No matter how many times you watch Canada play internationally, it seems, whether it's the Olympics or here, Raffi, when our players can no longer go for gold, you can talk the good game motivation all you want, but it's really tough. Why is it so difficult? Most of us will never be in that position, so try to share that with us.
Well, like you said, it's when you're playing for Canada, it's, you know, it's the first thing in mind is gold, and you know, today, this tournament, obviously it didn't work out that way, you know, but the guys kept their heads high, and it was, you know, whether we just, you know, we just had the passion to win, and wanted to go out there and, you know, if third was the best we could do, then we were going to take third. And, you know, like I said, it's just extremely crazy in the room right now. And so,
and I know the coach talked to you yesterday about the fact that maybe right now you look at it and go, ah, geez, a bronze, it's not quite what we wanted. But he wanted to impress upon the fact that as you get older, you're going to cherish this day for the rest of your life.
Definitely. You know, for a lot of the guys, it was hard to get up for a bronze medal game. But, you know, like I said, Stan was saying he's got the bronze medal, and he said that, you know, a couple months down the road, we're going to look back and, you know, we're going to be like, we're glad we got that bronze.
Can you believe it's over? I mean, that's it. You'll never play for Canada again in the World Junior.
I know. It's quite a feeling. Like I told you, I'm not going to forget, but, you know, I'm probably going to forget it after tonight, and tell you that much. So, we'll see.
I'll tell you what, Raffi, you'll never forget that goal. It was a beauty. The puck came back, and it was a bang-bang play. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Raffi Torres, man who scored the bronze medal winning goal for Canada. Hey, you talk about living out a dream. Not bad at all.
All right, thank you very much, fellas. And interesting to point out, too, that Raffi Torres was a guy that some people wondered if he'd be able to go to the World Junior. Stan Butler had some tough decisions to make. He did not take Chris Beach of the Calgary Hitmen, and I'm not sure if it was Torres at the expense of Beach, but it is nice to see when a guy scores for his own coach, because it can cause problems when you cut your own player.
Well, it can, and Torres is obviously a good goal scorer. That's why the New York Islanders took him 5th overall in last year's National Hockey League entry draft. But one of the elements that Torres brought to this team, and probably the big reason that he was considered amongst the top 6 forwards on the team coming out of the evaluation camp, was his ability to bang and crash and play a physical game. He's not a huge guy, about 5'10", 5'11", but he weighs over 200 pounds, and he's very solid and does play a physical game, but he's also got the goal-scoring ability, and we saw that in overtime. As for the bronze medal finish and the attitude of going into a bronze medal game, Gord, you really have to play the cards that are dealt to you. Canada obviously wanted to win gold. Once that became apparent, they couldn't do it. The nice thing to see, and it happened last year against the Americans in the bronze medal game that went to a shootout that Canada won, and it happened again this year, is that the World Junior teams in consecutive years have done what in 1998 the National Hockey League players who represented Canada in the Olympics didn't do, and that is give a credible performance in a bronze medal game. The National Hockey League players at Nagano in the bronze medal game mailed it in. They did not play well. They did not really even try, because they were so despondent over the fact that they lost to the Czechs in a shootout in the semifinal. You can take that for what it's worth. I think you have to applaud the effort. The outcome for Canada is still short of what Canadians want and expect. Those kids, Stan Butler, everybody else will be the first to tell you that. But as I say, you play the cards that are dealt to you, and the best you could have done today was a bronze medal. Canada did its best today.
All right, and a player who's got 2 of those bronze medals is Brandon Reed, one of 8 players who returned from last year's team that took part in the tournament in Sweden. And we take you now to one of the bronze medalists with Paul.
And a very nice look at the bronze medal. 2 bronze. It's got to feel very good and make you feel very proud.
Yeah, I'm one of the happiest guys right now, but in the same way, I'm pretty upset that, you know, it's my last year. It's pretty emotional getting off the ice there. You know, I'm so happy right now. It's even better than last year.
How so?
I don't know. It's just been such an emotional ride this year that, you know, the guys played hard. Everybody gave it all they got, and, you know, I thank them for that.
This is the cool thing about this tournament, Brandon, and I'm sure you're aware of it, but Gary and I were talking about it. I mean, you could potentially go on and have a chance to play for the Stanley Cup 5, 6, 7 times, maybe play in the Olympics, whatever, but you can only be part of the World Junior for a very finite period of time, and it's got to feel strange for you now that that's gone. You'll never do this again.
Yeah, I know, like Stan said, you can only be the best in the world probably once or twice in your life, and you know, Stanley Cup is the best in you know, North America, so I guess it's a hard thing to let go, but you know, I had fun when I was here, and it was the best times of my life.
Motivation is a great thing, and I know you guys, as part of your team building, dedicated your effort to somebody. Would you mind sharing that with us? Who's this effort dedicated to?
I dedicated to my parents. You know, they're really close to me. My cousin Justin, who passed away when he was about 2 weeks old, and a few other people in my family. So,
well, you had a lot of passion out there. A lot of it from the heart, and I guess because you could see that it was all coming to an end. Is this one of the most proud days of your hockey life?
Definitely.
Brandon, thanks for your time. Congratulations. 2 bronze medals. Brandon Reed, who really led by example out there for Canada.
You know, it's funny to say this because with Brandon Reed, you're talking about a guy who last year was undrafted and really unknown, an unknown quantity to a lot of people. Now he's a Vancouver Canuck prospect, and who knows, you might see him in the National Hockey League, and no one would have said that 1 year ago. Canada wins the game 2-1, but the story is very much the same as it was against the Finns. Just bushels of scoring opportunities that went unrealized.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You look at this hockey team, and we keep talking about the skill level, excuse me, and the approach that Team Canada took, using more offensive players and trying to create a more eye-pleasing style. And they did that. And yet at the same time, they didn't finish the chances they had. And what is goal scoring if not a skill? Does that make them unskilled? That's a difficult one. You could debate that on and on. What I do know is this, is that this edition of Team Canada was a stylistic success. Take that for what it's worth. In 1990 in Helsinki, when the Canada won the gold medal, in 91 in Saskatoon when they won the gold medal, in 93 in Gävle when they won the gold medal, in 94 in Ostrava when they won the gold medal, Canada won the gold medal, but wasn't even close to carrying the play in terms of overall play in the offensive zone. They had outstanding goaltending. They had some breaks go their way. And it was only in 1995 in Red Deer, I thought, and 1996 in Boston, that Canada was a real dominant team. In 1997 in Geneva, I thought the Americans over the course of the tournament were probably the best team. I don't ever remember a Canadian team carrying the play and having as many scoring opportunities and playing such an offensive, eye-pleasing style as this team did that didn't win the gold medal. So take that for what it's worth. And I'm sure it's small consolation to Stan Butler and the players who do expect to win gold. And I think everything we've heard today, the players talking about how happy they are to win bronze, should be kept in the context that they're bitterly disappointed not to win gold. And I think all of Canada is bitterly disappointed, not just for this team, but dating back to the '96 World Cup, the 1998 Olympics, and the last 4 World Junior Championships. Is it a slump? Is it a trend? I don't know. But right now, people, hockey fans in Canada can't be happy with the fact that we're having to be happy to settle for bronze.
All right, well said, Bob. And don't forget, of course, that still ahead this morning, we'll have the gold medal game for you between Finland and the Czech Republic. Right now, the focus is on the bronze medalists, and they're from Canada.
The World Junior Hockey Championship, brought to you by the Royal Bank Financial Group, by Nike, by Esso, a proud sponsor of the Canadian Hockey Association and hockey throughout Canada, and by Air Canada.